Chapter 1831. Seeing that we are both cultivating in the Sacred Academy, I will spare you this time. There's no need for this to happen again. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. After that, his silhouette flashed as he left this place. To him, Jian Chen wasn't important. Although they were both rankers on the Heavenly Tao rankings, he didn't have much interest in the rankings. He also didn't have any ambition to defeat the other rankers on the rankings. The Tao mark before him was none other than the slaughter will. That trace seemed to be able to kill the heavens. Faintly, an extremely terrifying slaughter will gushed forth, directly aiming for the spectators. For those who weren't strong enough, if they tried to comprehend here, they would suffer a backlash or even die under the might of the Tao intent. Many people were counting the Empyreans here. Someone mentioned Yu Chongkong. Where are you from? Qin Wentian suddenly asked. Upon seeing this scene, Jian Chen frowned. What ability was this? But if this was the case, why was everything so miraculous? He had no way to understand what sort of existence the creator of this world of reincarnation was. Jian Chen was an expert on the Heavenly Tao rankings. His strength was naturally extremely powerful. Qin Wentian didn't bother with them. He had no idea what sort of existences these fellows who were sealed in this world of reincarnation were exactly. But for his Tao, he had to rely on himself to walk it and not be controlled by others. After the aristocratic clan Qin Wentian came from was destroyed, he wandered about this world of reincarnation. He wanted to investigate whether this world was real or not. To his astonishment, he discovered that everything in this world was so real. Here, everyone had their own stories and the accumulation of countless years of history. Outsiders like them seemed to have appeared out of thin air, affecting the order of this world of reincarnation. I'm thinking, if this place is the legendary place, how can we exit this place? Do we have to defeat all the people who entered here before we can obtain the favor of the legendary place? Jian Chen slowly spoke, coming here, we are all at the same starting point, cultivating from zero. The competition seems to be extremely fair. You and I were both ranked on the Heavenly Tao rankings in the Sacred Academy, but because I am older than you, I didn't fight against you before. Now that both of us have the same starting point, we can verify who is stronger and who is weaker. When the Heavenly Tao's Sacred Academy allowed them to enter the legendary place, the heavenly deity once reminded them to guard their hearts. Hence, Qin Wentian didn't waver in the slightest when facing those tempting voices. Also, the purpose of the Heavenly Tao's Sacred Academy was to prevent the people of the other major powers from obtaining the Tao here. After returning to the main city of the world of reincarnation, Qin Wentian was drinking wine in an inn. Many people around him were discussing the major events in the world of reincarnation. Right now, many powers in the world of reincarnation have given birth to demon-level geniuses. Their cultivation speed was shocking and it felt like they were all rising up at the same time, about to open the curtains of a new era. Jian Chen's body froze for a moment, as if time had stopped. However, in the next moment, a powerful sword might appeared in the surroundings, mincing apart the frozen spacetime. When one's comprehension reached a certain level, even the freezing of spacetime could be broken. There was no such thing as invincible power. It only depended on how powerful the user was. When Qin Wentian thought of the destruction of his clan in this world, he felt some pain in his heart. Although he couldn't truly acknowledge Qin Ruhai as his father, to Qin Yuanfeng, he was his son. Qin Ruhai was willing to die for him. From a certain perspective, the Qin Ruhai of this world was the incarnation of Qin Yuanfeng. And now, his goal in the world of reincarnation was to gain more insights. When he returned to the supreme ancient immortal realms, he believed that all the insights he gained would belong to him as well. Insights couldn't be taken away unless he lost his memories. But from the situation in the world of reincarnation, this was clearly impossible. Jian Chen slowly stood up. He stared at Qin Wentian as a fearsome aura gushed forth from him. After which, with a wave of his hand, bolts of lightning intersected with one another, transforming into countless X runes that tore apart the void, causing it to be dismembered into countless pieces. Qin Wentian inclined his head and glanced at the world around him. In an instant, the entire world seemed to sink into his eyes. In the world of his eye technique, Jian Chen's energy pierced through his body, wanting to tear it apart. However, all of this seemed to be an illusion. He still stood there unscathed, completely unharmed. His goal was to become Heaven's son. He was already a heavenly deity and was a supreme existence among heavenly deities. What meaning was there in staring at the heavenly Tao rankings? The Heavens Will World Heart was his foundation. In the Heavens Will World Heart, he could control everything. By sealing the energy of the Heavens Will World Heart into his eye technique, he could instantly seal the attacks of others into his eye technique and neutralize them. It was truly terrifying. Beside Qin Wentian, there were many people comprehending the Tao here. One of them exuded a sharp aura. He stood on a rock and calmly stared at Qin Wentian as his eyes gleamed with sharpness. Qin Wentian frowned. In an instant, time and space seemed to freeze as all energy stopped flowing. In the world of reincarnation, he still chose to cultivate the energy of the past. Firstly, it was because he wanted to quickly return to his previous cultivation realm. Secondly, it was because he wanted to make use of the fact that there were no restrictions on his law attributes in the world of reincarnation. He wanted to see if he could break through again. However, now wasn't the time. His current cultivation realm was still too weak. He needed to return to his peak. In this world, he could sense all kinds of law attributes. Because of his previous life's experience, he was extremely sensitive to the law attributes he once possessed. He could easily comprehend them. After Qin Wentian left, he continued to roam the world of reincarnation. It was like he wanted to explore the entire world. If he comprehended the Tao of heavenly deities in this world, would he be able to break through after he exited this world? Although Jian Chen's energy was still manifested through his sword, it had clearly surpassed the scope of source origins. This was the manifestation of his heaven heart mandate in an innate technique. This was a tyrannical technique he learned from the tiny astral being as well as the insights he gained from his cultivation in the secret realm. At the end, he used his world heart to form a powerful innate technique. He named it as the Eye of Heaven's Will. You won't be able to do it. Qin Wentian faintly spoke. He glanced over again and in an instant, Jian Chen felt his body entering the world created by Qin Wentian's eye technique. In this world of the eye technique, countless law imprints shot over. The surrounding spacetime seemed to have come to a complete standstill. At the very end, his body also froze there, unable to move. I heard that your energy is spacetime. What's the use of coming here to comprehend the will of slaughter? Could it be that you have cultivated some other techniques in here? A voice rang out from the side. Qin Wentian didn't look at the person who spoke. He naturally knew who the person who spoke was. It was an expert from the supreme ancient immortal realms like him. Also, this person was someone who came from the Tiandao Sacred Academy. He was none other than the descendant of the sword god, Jian Chen. Jian Chen sat there as he spoke. He didn't even move his body. His palms slashed out as boundless sword might transformed into a rune that slashed towards Qin Wentian. The might of the rune was terrifying, able to slash apart a human's body. World of Reincarnation, Southern Heaven Sword Pavilion. Jian Chen replied. Qin Wentian nodded his head silently. As expected, this was still an aristocrat clan of the Sword Tao. It was similar to when he was in the supreme ancient immortal realms. There seemed to be some sort of connection between them. There are differences in strength when comprehending the Tao, how can the starting point be the same? Qin Wentian calmly shook his head. After they came to the world of reincarnation, although they didn't have their cultivation bases and had to start from scratch, they brought with them all the insights they gained in the past. The starting point was different. Qin Wentian stood up and left. He calmly spoke, "Don't forget teacher's instructions." The moon god's disciple, Yu Changkong, can be said to be the reincarnation of a deity. He has comprehended a myriad of laws and can transcend everything. Someone said that he would be able to become a deity within 1,000 years. Could it be that he took a shortcut? But now, he died together with his entire clan. When he thought of the other 3 experts of the dual faction Qin clan, the flames of revenge burned in his heart. In the blink of an eye, many years passed in the world of reincarnation. Before an ancient mountain, Qin Wentian faced the wall and cultivated. The stone wall before him was filled with Tao marks that contained the might of the great Tao. Right now, Qin Wentian's demeanor was transcendent. His eyes were deep and the energy he gained in the outside world had already been converted back to him. In this world, he also possessed strength comparable to the hegemonic level characters back then. In that case, you are afraid of battle? Jian Chen asked. Qin Wentian started to roam the world of reincarnation. He gradually discovered that this world wasn't as vast as he had imagined. All the peak powers seemed to be existences that corresponded to the hegemonic powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms, but all of them were in a single region. The world of reincarnation was like a world of its own. There's no conflict at all, Jian Chen calmly spoke. It was like he didn't see Qin Wentian leaving. At the instant his voice faded, the wind and clouds in the surroundings changed. This world seemed to have transformed into a world of swords. At this instant, Qin Wentian felt that his entire body was filled with sword intent, controlled by Jian Chen. Where his heart was, where his Tao was. This was the ability of the world overlord's world heart. Although he was in the other world, Jian Chen was still able to use it perfectly. There's hatred in your heart. These Tao marks of slaughter can aid you in comprehending the Tao of slaughter. Do you want to cultivate them? I can allow you to cultivate the art of endless slaughter and become the king of slaughter. A voice rang out in Qin Wentian's mind, filled with bewitchment. He had already heard this voice many times. Naturally, there were other voices that were trying to bewitch him, wanting him to cultivate some evil arts. Qin Wentian cultivated for tens of years in the Tiandao Sacred Academy and entered the various secret realms. How could he not have any insights? His strength was already incomparable to when he participated in the convention of the myriad realms. That's true. He's too monstrous. I wonder how he cultivated. Someone sighed in admiration. Qin Wentian frowned when he heard Yu Changkong's name. Naturally, it wasn't because he was jealous. It was just that he felt strange. Given Yu Changkong's talent, how could he be said to have comprehended all arts? Chapter 1832. Qin Wentian was thinking that if Yu Changkong really took a shortcut and listened to the evil spirits to cultivate evil arts, would he really have a chance to step into the heavenly deity realm? If this was the case, wouldn't it be unfair to others? If that was the case, everyone would choose to cultivate evil arts. It was extremely rare to find someone who could remain true to their heart under any circumstances. This time around, Yu Changkong is gathering experts from the various peak powers in the world of reincarnation. This would surely be a grand event. I wonder how many people would respond. Another person in the inn spoke. Qin Wentian frowned. He glanced at the person who spoke and asked, when did this happen? Not long ago, the Moon God Hall sent out news. Right now, given Yu Changkong's status in the Moon God Hall, even the deities would respect his opinion. That person replied. Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed sharply. He naturally understood that the people Yu Changkong truly wanted to gather were those experts from the supreme ancient immortal realms who entered the world of reincarnation. This was the first time after he came to the world of reincarnation that someone called for a gathering. Clearly, Yu Changkong was very confident that he would be able to become the main character of this world of reincarnation. Back then during the convention of the myriad realms, he once lied to everyone and used all sorts of methods to enter the Ziwei divine court. He even proposed marriage to the Donghuang clan. This person was extremely ambitious and had a despicable personality. Although he was a disciple of the Sun Moon Sacred Mountain, he still felt that his position wasn't high enough. He wanted to enter the Ziwei Divine Court, but now, in the world of reincarnation, he seemed to be even more successful compared to the outside world. Qin Wentian inquired about the details of this matter and gradually understood that this matter was brought about by Yu Changkong and the Qin clan. Right now, only the Qin clan was left in the world of reincarnation. Yu Changkong and the people from the Qin clan, what do they want to do? Qin Wentian mused. A few geniuses from the Qin clan were now in the Qin clan. Clearly, they had participated in this, colluding with Yu Changkong. Given the status of Yu Changkong and the other disciples of the Qin clan, they didn't have such rallying power. Among those who entered the world of reincarnation, Yu Changkong was clearly the most mediocre. There were many people with loftier statuses than him. For the three from the Qin clan, although they were outstanding, their fame was eclipsed by Qin Dangtian's halo. After Qin Wentian left the inn, he continued to gather information outside. He learned that Yu Changkong and the others were able to gather so many people because Yu Changkong and the Qin clan wanted to deal with some people. Who are you referring to by some people? This made Qin Wentian's heart a little cold. He guessed that it was probably related to him. The heaven chosen of the Moon God Hall, Yu Changkong, and the three geniuses of the Qin clan called for a gathering. The location of the gathering was none other than one of the factions in the dual-faction Qin clan that was destroyed back then. Today, the dual-faction Qin clan gathered many experts from the world of reincarnation. All of them were experts from the supreme ancient immortal realms who had entered the world of reincarnation. Because, they were very clear in their hearts who Yu Changkong and the Qin clan wanted to gather. Qin Wentian was among the crowd. He came here in disguise. The people from the Qin clan wanted to kill him and Yu Changkong most probably hated him to the bone. Hence, he naturally had to keep a low profile. He saw many familiar figures. Although he wasn't acquainted with many of them, he knew who they were. Naturally, he also saw people he was familiar with. Luo Shenlei, Goddess Nikhang, Devilox and the others. Naturally, other than a few who originated from peak powers, those from the Tiandao Sacred Academy who didn't have a background from a peak power didn't appear. Yu Changkong sat on the ruins. His aura now was even more extraordinary. His entire person radiated a layer of unfathomable aura, giving off an unfathomable feeling. At this moment, he was resting with his eyes closed. Today, I invited everyone here for two reasons. Firstly, I want to take a look at all of you. Secondly, there's another reason. Everyone should be clear about your own goals. In that case, because some people seem to have a heavenly advantage, they might know some things we don't know. Hence, should we eliminate these people first? The eyes of everyone gleamed with sharpness. Yu Changkong was truly direct. The some people he spoke of undoubtedly referred to the cultivators from the Tiandao Sacred Academy. The legendary place belonged to the Tiandao Sacred Academy. They suspected that the people from the Tiandao Sacred Academy would know many things in advance and would have an advantage over them. Everyone fell silent. In the supreme ancient immortal realms, Qin Dangtian from the Qin clan insulted the Sacred Academy. Both sides already had a grudge and it wasn't good for them to participate in this. After all, the Tiandao Sacred Academy was a peak power in the supreme ancient immortal realms. Naturally, they also felt that the people from the Tiandao Sacred Academy might know some secrets they didn't know. Don't forget why you guys can appear here. Luo Shenlei calmly spoke. In the world of reincarnation, she was also born in the Luoshan clan. However, in the world of reincarnation, the dual-faction Qin clan had no connection with the Luoshan clan. If it wasn't for the various hegemonic powers speaking in unison, we naturally wouldn't have appeared here. If not, do you really think they would be so kind? Yu Changkong's closed eyes opened as a cold light flashed within. He stared at Luo Shenlei. Shut up, You don't have the qualifications to speak to me. Luo Shenlei glanced at Yu Changkong in disgust. This person's character was so despicable. Right now in the world of reincarnation, he actually wanted to create a storm of blood, acting against the people from the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Yu Changkong's eyes narrowed as an evil smile appeared on his face. I don't have the qualifications. Things were different now. This place was no longer the supreme ancient immortal realms. Since Miss Luoshan has said this, I really have to seek guidance from you. Yu Changkong calmly spoke, his tone was extremely cold. If you want to fight, I will accompany you. An extremely cold voice rang out. The person who spoke was none other than World Overlord Lifeless. He also entered the world of reincarnation together with the experts from the Luoshan clan and was in charge of protecting Luo Shenlei. Sure. Yu Changkong sinisterly laughed. After that, he slowly moved forward. Facing against the powerful World Overlord Lifeless, he actually accepted the challenge. Grandpa Lifeless, be careful of this man. His personality is despicable and he can use any methods. Luo Shenlei transmitted her voice over. World Overlord Lifeless nodded. With a flash of his silhouette, he appeared in the air. Yu Changkong smiled and flew up. He glanced up at the sky and in an instant, a violet constellation appeared. Boundless astral light enveloped this entire space, blocking the vision of everyone. Everyone could only feel a fearsome emperor's intent, it was impossible for them to resist it. Everyone frowned. Their wills actually had no way to penetrate the violet astral light and couldn't see the battle happening within. Very soon, fearful roars of rage rang out in the air. The sky trembled as the violet constellation trembled, it felt like it was on the verge of collapse. Violent rumbling sounds rang out as the sky seemed like it was about to explode. The violent energy shook the heavens and earth. What happened? The eyes of everyone gleamed with sharpness, wanting to see the details of the battle but they couldn't. Luo Shenlei's beautiful eyes involuntarily flashed with worry. After that, a miserable scream rang out. In an instant, Luo Shenlei only felt her entire body turning cold. She called out, Grandpa Lifeless. The astral light dissipated, it was like the night sky, extremely beautiful. Yu Changkong exuded magnificence through the generations as he slowly descended. However, World Overlord Lifeless' figure had already vanished. This scene caused the eyes of many to narrow as they stared at Yu Changkong. They have heard of Nameless, the Sky Order Heavenly Deity's divine throne. He was an extremely powerful hegemonic level World Overlord but he was actually easily killed by Yu Changkong. Not only so, they also discovered a detail. Back then, among the experts from the Ziwei Divine Court who entered the world of reincarnation, only Yu Changkong appeared. Where were the others? Yu Changkong's martial uncle, his junior brother, and 2 rankers on the Heavenly Dao rankings of the Mystic region have all vanished. Where were they? Now, do I have the qualifications? Yu Changkong smiled at Luo Shenlei. Luo Shenlei's beautiful eyes instantly turned red as she stared fixedly at Yu Changkong. How could this be? Yu Changkong was such a despicable character. Back then, he was once suppressed and humiliated by her elder brother and was brought away by the people from the Ziwei Divine Court. She thought that Yu Changkong would be consigned to eternal damnation but now, he didn't die. After entering the world of reincarnation, how did Yu Changkong become so powerful? Earlier, when Yu Changkong was fighting, he sealed everyone's vision. Was he hiding something? Could it be that Yu Changkong cultivated an evil art? In the crowd, the expression of Qin Wentian who was in disguise turned cold. He clenched his fists tightly. Yu Changkong was actually so powerful. Could it be that the evil art that had been bewitching him was really so powerful? What evil art did you cultivate? At this moment, someone directly asked, not minding Yu Changkong at all. The person who spoke was an expert from the Supreme Ancient Great Devil Divine Palace. The devil might radiating from him was extremely terrifying, exuding an unexcelled might. On the heavenly Tao rankings of the mystic region, Gu Ting from the Great Devil Divine Palace was definitely one of the strongest. He knew of Yu Changkong. He was someone who deceived the world in the convention. Now, he actually managed to kill World Overlord Lifeless, a subordinate of the Skyorder heavenly deity. This matter was definitely not ordinary. How can I tell you about cultivation so easily? Yu Changkong calmly glanced at Gu Ting. He had no fear at all. The him now in the world of reincarnation truly had the qualifications to speak to these characters. He no longer needed to look up to them. Back then, Gu Ting from the Great Devil Divine Palace was a character he had to look up to. But now, there was no need for that. Gu Ting's expression was extremely cold. He stared at Yu Changkong only to see Yu Changkong staring straight at him, not backing down at all. If you want to seek guidance, I don't mind. Enough, don't forget our purpose today. At this moment, a world overlord from the Qin clan interrupted the two of them. They were born in the Qin clan and initially felt contempt for Yu Changkong. But now, their gazes when looking at Yu Changkong changed. This person even dared to challenge Gu Ting. Seems like he was extremely confident. Chapter 1833. Gu Ting stared at the experts from the Qin clan before turning to Yu Changkong. He didn't intend to stop here and continued asking, let's talk about this matter later. I still have a question. Yu Changkong, where are your fellow sect members? Yu Changkong narrowed his eyes as he stared at Gu Ting. It seemed like Gu Ting wasn't prepared to let this matter rest. My senior brother and martial uncle died in a secret realm. Do I still need to report to you? Yu Changkong spoke in a cold tone. Dying while exploring a secret zone. The demonic might on Gu Ting's body surged. I'm afraid it's not that simple. Everyone should know why we're here. But if someone abandons his heart and wishes to take a shortcut, affecting the others, I have no choice but to make this clear. I don't want to lose my life in a secret realm in the future. The Great Devil Divine Palace and the Ziwei Divine Court were both hegemonic level powers of the mystic region. Gu Ting naturally understood a little about Yu Changkong's matters. Although Yu Changkong's talent wasn't bad, and if it wasn't for the appearance of the Qinqing Realm Lord, he might be extremely dazzling. In fact, it wasn't to say that he wouldn't be able to ascend the heavenly Tao rankings, it was just that the time wasn't right yet. However, Gu Ting didn't believe that Yu Changkong would be able to kill Lifeless so easily after he entered the world of reincarnation. In that case, there was only one possibility. The eyes of many experts here flickered. Gu Ting's gaze was filled with an extremely invasive nature. Devil intent revolved around his body as he swept his gaze across the crowd. Seeing that many of them were silent, he couldn't help but coldly ask, how many of you here have already betrayed your true heart? Silence filled the air. Those who came from the supreme ancient immortal realms naturally understood what they were saying. However, those in the world of reincarnation felt somewhat confused. The words of these people seemed to contain a deeper meaning, they had no way to understand. Could it be that the deaths of Yu Changkong's fellow sect members were related to Yu Changkong? What do you mean by betrayal? At this moment, a voice rang out. Gu Ting and the others turned their gazes over only to see that the person who spoke was a Buddhist cultivator from the pure land of bliss of the supreme ancient immortal realms. He was the junior apprentice brother of 7 abstinences. He pressed his palms together and spoke, my senior apprentice brother 7 abstinences went to the Western Paradise to seek the Tao, using his primordial body to travel. That is his true heart. Right now, if you guys want to cultivate any techniques, you can also use your true heart. It's just that my heart has been released under certain circumstances. Master is wise. Gu Ting nodded at this Buddhist cultivator. He was right. If there really was someone who cultivated those methods, it could only be said that it was a manifestation of their true heart and nature. Was the trial in the world of samsara supposed to allow people to see themselves clearly and find their true selves? When one's heart turns to Buddha, one will become a Buddha, when one's heart turns to the devil, one will become a devil. Buddha and the devil are separated by a single thought. The monk put his palms together and said slowly, if one's heart turns to the devil, one will naturally become an evil devil. If that's the case, what does Grandmaster think we should do? Gu Ting asked. Among the people here, it was clear that Gu Ting wasn't the only one who had cultivated such a technique. It was just that they didn't want to reveal it. It was just that Yu Changkong was too eager to reveal it. This is an unsolvable problem. Everyone, whether or not you can protect your true self or if your heart is being corroded, you can only depend on yourselves. The Reverend shook his head and sighed. The eyes of some people flashed. This was truly a difficult problem. After cultivating to the transcendent level world overlord realm, which one of them didn't have a strong will and determination? They had their own Tao and wouldn't change easily. If they were bewitched by the evil energy of the external world, even if they could grow stronger, they would still lose their true self. This wasn't the Tao they wanted to pursue. What would happen if they went astray? However, if they didn't cultivate it and chose to cultivate it like Yu Changkong, they might end up like World Overlord lifeless in the process of competing against him. Also, among Yu Changkong's fellow sect members, there were 2 rankers on the Heavenly Tao rankings. They vanished without a trace just like that. They could faintly guess that they have already been killed. This disciple of the Ziwei Divine Court who once pretended to be the inheritor of the Time King's inheritance was truly despicable to the extreme. For the sake of achieving his goals, he would do anything. Hence, to everyone, this was a difficult problem to solve. Yu Changkong, you cultivate the evil arts. Are you not afraid of your Tao heart becoming unstable and suffering a backlash? Luo Shenlei's eyes turned red as she stared at Yu Changkong. During the convention of the Myriad Realms, this man was already incomparably despicable. She had always looked down on him. However, this despicable man actually killed her grandpa lifeless. She couldn't accept this. Yu Changkong sat there steadily, quietly listening to the words of everyone. After that, a cold smile appeared on his face. How could he not have thought of this problem before? However, he knew that if he relied on his own cultivation, he would only be suppressed by his martial uncle and his 2 fellow sect members, suffering incomparable humiliation. In the Ziwei Divine Court, he also lived an extremely humiliating life. When he first came here, he became a beggar. At that time, there were evil voices bewitching him and he didn't hesitate to cultivate the evil arts. For the sake of becoming stronger, to change everything, even if he was consigned to eternal damnation, he didn't care. He would no longer be the Yu Changkong of the past. He wanted to be lofty, just like before. Luo Shenlei looked down on him and looked down on him. But now? Most probably, she regretted it. The matter of cultivation is a personal choice. Let's not talk about it anymore. Our topic today is still the people from that place. How should we deal with them? An expert from a peak power in the Chaos region spoke. His demeanor was outstanding and his voice was calm, causing many people to cast a deep glance at him. Gu Ting's eyes were cold. He also knew that this matter couldn't be pursued. Yu Changkong definitely wasn't the only one who cultivated the evil arts, allowing himself to transform. I've already captured one of them. After interrogating him, he didn't reply and I killed him. Yu Changkong calmly spoke, like he was talking about an insignificant matter. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with killing intent. Yu Changkong actually captured and killed a genius from the Tiandao Sacred Academy? Let me make things clear first. This matter has nothing to do with me. Devilox directly spoke. He didn't want to be targeted. You basically don't belong there. You have your own identity, it's normal that you don't know anything. Someone calmly spoke. Devilox was a supreme character from the Divine Ox clan of the Desolate region. Even if the Tiandao Sacred Academy knew about the secret of the world of reincarnation, they wouldn't tell him. Naturally, since Devilox has expressed his stance, they naturally wouldn't offend him if they could. Today, I invited all of you here mainly to discuss this matter. Next, let's all use our strength to search for them. What do you all think? A genius from the Qin clan spoke. As he spoke, his gaze inadvertently turned to goddess Nikhang. She was so beautiful that it could shock the world, causing him to have no way to calm his heart. He wanted nothing more than to obtain her right now. Also, the young miss of the Luotian clan was also extremely beautiful. Although her beauty couldn't be compared to goddess Nikhang, she was still a rare peak-level beauty. Her beauty could even cause the moon and flowers to blush. If he could obtain both of them, how wonderful would that be? In addition, the Luotian clan and the Qin clan in the supreme ancient immortal realms had an old grudge. When he thought of this, his heart stirred. There seemed to be a mysterious energy circulating in his body. I naturally agree. Yu Changkong took the lead to express his stance. In the world of reincarnation, the person he wanted to meet the most was none other than the disciple of the Tiandao Sacred Academy, the Qinqing Realm Lord, Qin Wentian. All the pain and suffering he experienced was given to him by Qin Wentian. He wanted to repay him in double. If everyone obtains any inside news from this, don't forget to share it with us. A genius from a hegemonic power in the heaven region spoke. All of them had their own ulterior motives in their hearts. If some core members of the Tiandao Sacred Academy really knew the secret of the world of reincarnation, after they forced them to reveal it, it would surely be of great help to them in the world of reincarnation. That's only natural. Yu Changkong calmly spoke. However, this was clearly an act. If they really knew the secret of the world of reincarnation, why would they reveal it? Today, I initially wanted to invite everyone to spar about the Tao. But from the looks of things now, I don't think everyone is interested anymore. Let's continue this discussion in the future. Yu Changkong continued. Right now, these people all had trepidation in their hearts and were wary of their opponents. Yu Changkong even killed his martial uncle and fellow sect members. In this place, anyone could be his opponent. Since this is the case, I will hold a banquet in my Qin residence. Is everyone willing to attend? An expert from the Qin clan spoke. There's no need. Gu Ting calmly spoke. He then turned and left, farewell. As he spoke, the experts from the Great Devil Divine Palace directly left, leaving just like that. It has been many years since they came to the world of reincarnation and everyone was already clear about the situation here. Now that everyone met each other, they already knew what was going on. There was no need for them to pretend to be good friends and attend the banquet together. The experts from the various powers left one after another. An expert from the Qin clan walked towards goddess Nikhang and spoke, Fairy Nikhang, come with me to my clan for a chat. There's no need. Goddess Nikhang calmly replied. Uncle Chu often visits my residence as a guest. I treat Fairy Nikhang as my kin, there's no need to stand on ceremony. That expert from the Qin clan spoke again. Chu Nichang's cold gaze stared at him. If this was in the supreme ancient immortal realms, the world overlord of the Qin clan would definitely not dare to speak to her like this because Heaven's son Qin Dangtian was around. But here, the people from the Qin clan seemed to be much bolder. In addition, the eyes of this world overlord were filled with a sense of invasiveness. His gaze was scorching hot like he was under a devil's Tao. Goddess Nikhang coldly glanced at him. She seemed to know something and after that, she directly left, not bothering about that world overlord. Upon seeing this scene, the eyes of that world overlord from the Qin clan flashed with greed. It was like what the reverend from the Buddhist sect said earlier was right. Demons appearing in one's heart, that was their nature. This was their true heart. Chapter 1834. Qin Wentian was in the crowd, watching everything that happened. The Tiandao Sacred Academy allowed everyone to enter the sacred ground. However, no one would feel grateful. They wanted to capture the experts of the Tiandao Sacred Academy and force them to reveal the secret of the world of reincarnation. However, in truth, Qin Wentian understood that the heavenly deities of the Tiandao Sacred Academy only reminded them to guard their hearts. They had no idea what was happening in the world of reincarnation. Staring at Yu Changkong, Qin Wentian felt an intense killing intent in his heart. Sadly, now in the world of reincarnation, it seemed that he wouldn't be able to kill Yu Changkong. Yu Changkong had cultivated an evil art, causing his strength to transform. Even a peak-level hegemonic character like World Overlord Lifeless could be easily killed by him. If he wanted revenge, it seemed like he had to wait until he grew stronger. His gaze slowly turned over and stared at Luo Shenlei. When he saw Luo Shenlei's reddened eyes, he felt a little unbearable in his heart. World Overlord Lifeless' death was related to her. Most probably, Leier's heart must be filled with pain. However, he didn't go up to disturb her. After hearing the conversation between Gu Ting and the Buddhist cultivators from the Pure Land of Bliss, his view of the world of reincarnation changed. Maybe, in the world of reincarnation, everyone had to face some things and understand their true selves. He hoped that Leier would be able to overcome this and strengthen her will. Other than the fallen World Overlord Lifeless, there were still 4 other experts from the Luotian clan. All of them were extremely outstanding world overlords and all of them were core characters of the Luotian clan. All of them had the surname Luotian. Lei, let's return. There will be a chance for revenge in the future. Luo Shenfeng had a very good relationship with Luo Shenlei and seemed to be her clan brother. He transmitted his voice to her. Luo Shenlei's fists were still tightly clenched. She stared at Lifeless who had vanished. She bit her lips lightly and turned to leave. If there's a chance in the future, let's pay a visit to the Luotian clan. Yu Changkong calmly spoke after Luo Shenlei and the others left. His tone contained a hint of provocation. Now that Qin Wentian was hiding, he would deal with Luo Shenlei first. Back then during the convention, Luo Shenlei also participated in it. They had to pay a price for this. The 4 experts from the Luotian clan left. Luo Shenlei and Luo Shenfeng walked together while the other 2 walked together. One of them coldly glanced at Luo Shenlei and spoke, "Now, you caused World Overlord Lifeless to die here. Are you satisfied? When mocking others, you should first consider your own strength first. You all, Luo Shenlei, Luo Shenwushuang, and Tian clan's sex clan. Clearly, their relationship wasn't that good." Luo Shenlei's gaze abruptly turned cold. She stared at the 2 people who spoke. The relationship between them wasn't that good. Just like what she once said to Qin Wentian, the Luotian clan was currently in a delicate period. Her grandfather had no way to control the clan's decisions. This was especially so after her father's cultivation base was crippled. Many things had changed. Luo Shenfeng's elders were very close to her faction but the elders of the other 2 were different. They wanted to seize the authority of the Luotian clan. What sort of character is Yu Changkong? I'm sure you all know this. He originally didn't have the qualifications to speak with the people of the Luotian clan. It's only because he cultivated an evil art that caused World Overlord Lifeless to die. Now, the 2 of you are blaming Lei instead. How can this be? Luo Shenfeng coldly spoke. Reap what you sow, did we say anything wrong? One of them coldly spoke. This matter was caused by Luo Shenlei. In the future, you all will be the one to bear the blame. Ridiculous, the people of my Luotian clan actually fear a single threat from Yu Changkong. Luo Shenfeng icily spoke. It's not fear. It's just that to us, this is an unnecessary trouble. Since you all like to create trouble, just bear it yourself. The 2 of them increased their speed and left, leaving behind the enraged Luo Shenfeng and Luo Shenlei. Lei, don't listen to their words. Yu Changkong's character is evil. Even if you didn't say anything, he would still find an excuse to deal with you. Grandpa Lifeless would definitely act to protect you, but the ending would still be the same. What we need to do now is to grow stronger and take good care of ourselves. Only then would we be able to live up to Grandpa Lifeless' death. Luo Shenfeng was much older than Luo Shenlei and had always treated her like a younger sister. There's no need to persuade me. Grandpa Lifeless died because of me. Luo Shenlei's voice was cold, like she was in great pain. She would remember this point. After the gathering in the world of reincarnation, many experts of the supreme ancient immortal realms felt a sense of danger. Gu Ting once asked how many people here had lost their original heart. Yu Changkong was in the light, but how many people were in the dark? After the gathering, Yu Changkong became very close to the world overlords of the Qin clan. Under their influence, the two hegemonic powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms seemed to be in cahoots with each other. After a period of peace, waves of commotion finally arose in the world of reincarnation. This matter happened in the Qin clan. Chu Shen and his daughter Goddess Nikhang were guests at the Qin clan. Goddess Nikhang heavily injured a genius world overlord of the Qin clan. This matter caused the Qin clan to be enraged and they wanted to capture Goddess Nikhang. How could Chu Shen agree? He immediately fell out with the Qin clan and a terrifying deity-level war erupted in the Qin clan. Chu Shen died in battle, but before he died, he sent Goddess Nikhang away. From then on, Goddess Nikhang was wanted by the Qin clan. Naturally, the internal orders of the Qin clan stated that they wouldn't kill Goddess Nikhang. They were to capture her alive. This matter caused quite a commotion in the world of reincarnation. The people from the supreme ancient immortal realms also felt that something was strange. In the true supreme ancient immortal realms, the relationship between the Qin clan and Chu Shen was very good. Goddess Nikhang had once accompanied Heaven's Son to the Tiandao Sacred Academy to pay a visit. Clearly, their relationship was extraordinary. But why would Goddess Nikhang be angered and injure someone from the Qin clan? This matter was worth pondering over and was worth pondering over. What happened between the disciples of the Qin clan from the heaven region and Goddess Nikhang? In the Qin clan in the world of reincarnation, there was a matter that many people didn't know about. The few heaven-chosen world overlords of the Qin clan were all extremely promiscuous in the world of reincarnation. Occasionally, beautiful women would be sent into their harem and all of them had to have both talent and beauty. After these women entered the Qin clan, no one knew what happened to them. Naturally, no one could interfere with the internal affairs of the Qin clan. The people from the supreme ancient immortal realms were thinking in their hearts. The number one beauty of the heaven region, Goddess Nikhang, was actually fleeing for her life in the world of reincarnation. If this matter was known by the Heaven's Son in the outside world, what would happen? After the Reverend from the Pure Land of Bliss heard of this matter, he could only sigh in admiration. If the heavens wanted one to die, they would first make one go crazy. The commotion of this matter hasn't ended yet. After that, another major incident occurred in the world of reincarnation. The Qin clan proposed to the Luotian clan, wanting Luotian Lei to marry into the Qin clan. The Luotian clan naturally didn't agree. The Qin clan felt that they had been humiliated and hence, they joined forces with the Moon God Hall to exert pressure on the Luotian clan. In the world of reincarnation, regardless of Yu Changkong or the three disciples from the Qin clan, all of them had immense authority in the Moon God Hall and the Qin clan. They could influence the decisions of the upper echelons. Such authority naturally brought about intense ambitions and desires. The Luotian clan was under immense pressure. At this moment, the two extremely outstanding world overlords of the Luotian clan felt that they should hand Luotian Lei over to the Qin clan. There wasn't any problem with her marrying into the Qin clan. Both parties were extremely compatible. The Luotian clan faced external pressure as well as internal voices of compromise. The upper echelons of the Luotian clan wavered. Luotian Lei was now in a desperate situation. However, at this moment, Luotian Lei vanished. She had left the Luotian clan. After Grandpa Lifeless died, she suffered the betrayal of her kin from the Luotian clan. The Luotian clan was shaken and they no longer had any attachment to her. The Luotian clan searched everywhere for news of her. Until a few years later, in a desolate mountain range, two world overlords from the Luotian clan found Luotian Lei. "You have been hiding for so long. So it turns out that you have always been hiding in this mountain range." The two of them stared at the Luotian clan. At this moment, Luotian Lei was sitting cross-legged. She was dressed in black and her hair was black. She appeared extremely cold, but her countenance was as breathtaking as ever. Her beauty was as transcendent as ever. It was just that within this transcendent beauty, there was a coldness that would cause one's heart to palpitate. "Back then, didn't your aunt always want to marry someone from the Qin clan? In the end, she brought misfortune to the clan. Your father was crippled because of this. Now, you can chase after your aunt's footsteps in the world of reincarnation. What's so bad about that?" One of the world overlords mocked, revealing the past. "Luotian Lei, you aren't our opponent. On the account that we are from the same clan, we don't wish to act against you. Just leave with us." Another person spoke. "Our Luotian clan is originally already in a precarious situation. However, you guys actually wanted to seize power through internal strife. Since this is the case, Luotian Lei is unfilial and caused the Luotian clan to suffer losses. Even if we are consigned to eternal damnation, even if we are haunted by devils, I'm willing to bear all the consequences." Luotian Lei coldly spoke. She opened her eyes and in an instant, a terrifying aura enveloped this entire space. A sea of blood manifested in her body as her long hair fluttered in the wind. The current her was so beautiful that it was demonic, so beautiful that it caused fear in others. This entire world transformed into a world of blood. The expressions of the two of them changed. They stared at Luotian Lei as a look of terror appeared on their faces. "You actually cultivated an evil art? Luotian Lei, have you gone mad? Such a method would definitely cause a backlash. You actually learned from Yu Chongkong. So what if you eventually escaped and married into the Qin clan? You would become an evil devil, and after you exit this place, how would you have the face to return to the Luotian clan? I've said it before. Even if I'm consigned to eternal damnation, I'll bear all the consequences." Luotian Lei's expression was cold to the extreme. In the terrifying blood-colored world, numerous blood devils appeared. These were true demons. They were like cursed energy that gushed towards the two world overlords, wanting to devour them. These blood devils were all transformed from demonic beasts. What did Luotian Lei experience during these years in the Demon Beast mountain range? The two of them could sense the terrifying power contained within the blood devils. They felt boundless terror and some regret for forcing Luotian Lei into such a desperate situation. Chapter 1835. The two world overlords of the Luotian clan vanished. It was rumored that they disappeared when they were trying to capture Luotian Lei. Luotian Lei also vanished without a trace. The matter of the Qin clan's marriage proposal could only come to an end. However, this news still caused quite a commotion. Two powerful world overlords vanished for no reason at all. Clearly, they had already died. Although Luotian Lei also entered the world of reincarnation, in truth, her cultivation base was one of the weaker ones. This was also the case in the supreme ancient immortal realms. She couldn't kill the other two world overlords of the Luotian clan unless something happened to her. For those who came from the supreme ancient immortal realms, they were all very concerned about the people from the other hegemonic powers. Right now, they were already completely familiar with the world of reincarnation. Nothing could hide from their eyes and ears. Luotian Lei disappeared, Goddess Nikhang also disappeared. Also, the people from the Tiandao Sacred Academy didn't dare to show themselves. It was like they knew that the people from the supreme ancient immortal realms wanted to capture them. Everyone was experiencing their own life in the world of reincarnation. The background of everyone here was similar to the ones in the supreme ancient immortal realms, but the trajectory of their lives was completely different. Time flowed by unknowingly. In the blink of an eye, tens of years had already passed in the world of reincarnation. It was like a dream. Everyone who came from the supreme ancient immortal realms seemed to have completely immersed themselves in the world of reincarnation. The experiences of tens of years were sufficient for one to be assimilated by the environment and get used to everything in the world of reincarnation. However, not much time had passed in the outside world. In the Tiandao Sacred Academy, the experts from the various powers were still there. Those heavenly deities didn't leave and were waiting for news from the legendary place. However, all of them had disappeared. Even their messaging crystals were useless. When they sent messages to their messaging crystals, there was no reply at all. If it wasn't for the fact that they knew that these people had entered the legendary place, everyone would have thought that all of them had died. The land of reincarnation was actually so powerful that it could even isolate messages. What sort of place is the legendary place exactly? At this moment, the heaven son of the Qin clan, Qin Dangtian, had a sharp gaze as he stared at the life-governed heavenly deity and the others from the Tiandao Sacred Academy. I've already said that we've never stepped into the legendary place. Why do you keep asking? If you want to go in, I won't stop you. The life-governed heavenly deity's attitude was still as cold as before. Qin Dangtian's gaze turned sharp as he stared at the life-governed heavenly deity. Back then, he initially wanted to enter. The entrance to the legendary place actually contained a Tao annihilation might, wanting to destroy the Tao he cultivated. This was something the prideful life-governed heavenly deity couldn't endure. Who would dare to snatch away everything he cultivated? Even if he knew it was fake, he couldn't. The various heavenly deities could only wait, they had no idea what the disciples of their sects were experiencing. However, most probably, even they themselves had no way to imagine what the disciples of their sects were experiencing in the legendary place. For example, Heaven's son Qin Dangtian. He would never have imagined that there would be someone in the Qin clan who dared to covet goddess Nikhang. Not only that, they even acted on it. The heavenly deities of the Ziwei Divine Court wouldn't have imagined that Yu Changkong had devoured the other three experts of the Ziwei Divine Court and was currently enjoying boundless glory in the legendary place. The heavenly deities of the Luotian clan naturally wouldn't imagine what the geniuses of the Luotian clan were experiencing in there. In the world of reincarnation, in the Moon God Hall. Today, Yu Changkong invited the three geniuses of the Qin clan for a gathering. They had long formed an alliance and had some sort of tacit understanding with each other. In fact, they even knew what techniques the other party cultivated. During these years, the world of reincarnation seems to have calmed down. Does anyone else have any thoughts? Has goddess Nikhang been found? Yu Changkong smiled as he stared at the three heavenly deities of the Qin clan. These three people dared to touch the woman beside the heaven's son. They were truly extremely gutsy. Most probably, although they were very respectful in front of Qin Dangtian, in the depths of their hearts, they all had rebellious thoughts. They probably didn't want to continue living under the radiance of heaven's sun. With Qin Dangtian around, when people mentioned the Qin clan, they would first think of the heaven's sun. They would never think of them. In the Qin clan, Qin Dangtian's words were authority. No one could doubt him, no one dared to doubt him. It was the same for them as well. Qin Dangtian could even casually order them around. In truth, Qin Dangtian was already a heavenly deity. It wasn't a big deal for them to obey a heavenly deity. This was something very normal. However, Qin Dangtian wasn't born a heavenly deity. Once, when they were already famous in the Qin clan, Qin Dangtian wasn't even born yet. When Qin Dangtian was very young, he was already extremely domineering in the Qin clan. No one dared to antagonize him and he had no one in his eyes. Once, he pointed at their noses and said that in the future, they would all be defeated by him. In truth, Qin Dang Tian had done it and he surpassed them by too much. None. An expert from the Qin clan coldly spoke, his tone filled with unhappiness. When they thought of goddess Nichang's beauty, their hearts started to stir as they felt some heat burning in their hearts. That was a woman that even Qin Dang Tian didn't manage to obtain. If they could obtain her, every time they thought of this, they would feel a sense of joy in their hearts. As for the consequences, they already didn't want to consider it. Or more accurately, they didn't notice it. In truth, a devil had already formed in their hearts. Just like what the Pure Land of Bliss said, if one wanted to kill them, they had to first make them crazy. In this world of reincarnation, there are many outstanding beauties for everyone to enjoy. Sadly, Luo Shenlei ran away back then. If not. Yu Changkong laughed as he spoke until here. The eyes of the experts from the Qin clan flashed with a fiery light. This time around, we came here because we wish to discuss a matter with Brother Changkong. The Qin clan's world overlord spoke. Yu Changkong's eyes flashed as he stared at the other party. Brother Qin, please speak. This time around, the Nine Heavens mystical palace also came to the world of reincarnation. The eyes of the Qin clan's world overlord gleamed sharply, causing Yu Changkong's eyes to gleam with a bright light as he started laughing uproariously. The Nine Heavens mystical palace was a hegemonic power in the heaven region. The palace lords of the past were known as the Nine Heavens mystical palace and had the title of the number one immortal in the Nine Heavens. Right now, these people from the Qin clan actually set their sights on the Nine Heavens mystical palace. Such guts were simply too audacious. However, it didn't matter if there was one more enemy. They even dared to make a move against goddess Nichang. What would the Nine Heavens mystical palace not dare to do? Brother Qin, you guys have to think this through. If we join forces and act against the hegemonic powers from the supreme ancient immortal realms, we would surely attract the attention of others. They are all staring at us. Yu Changkong wasn't a fool. For those who came from the supreme ancient immortal realms, there was a taboo between them. This was especially so now that they didn't know how their opponents were doing in the world of reincarnation. They didn't dare to underestimate their opponents. During these years, Yu Changkong had done many things and many experts became nourishment for him. But even so, he didn't dare to feel that he would definitely be the number one among those who came from the supreme ancient immortal realms. Unless he broke through to the deity realm first, he wouldn't have any confidence. After all, there were some people who had hidden themselves much deeper than them. Brother Changkong should also understand that all those who came from the supreme ancient immortal realms are our opponents. If we don't act against them, sooner or later, there will be others acting against us. An expert from the Qin clan spoke. The world of reincarnation was the legendary place of the Tiandao Sacred Academy. But up till now, the mysteries of the world of reincarnation have yet to be unraveled. In that case, only by defeating all their opponents would they have a chance to unravel the mysteries. We can search for more allies. Another world overlord from the Qin clan spoke, his words causing Yu Changkong's eyes to flash. This was a good idea, they would first join forces to deal with the others. Brother Qin, who are you preparing to ally with? Yu Changkong asked. Qianquan sect, Che clan, Five Elements sect, or Thunder clan. The powers he spoke of were all peak powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms. The Qianquan sect was from the heaven region just like the Qin clan and had the title of Qianquan lord. The Che clan, Five Elements sect, Thunder clan, they were all peak powers in the Desolate Eight region. The Che clan had the title of the number one weaponsmithing aristocrat clan in the supreme ancient immortal realms. The Five Elements sect controlled the five elements of heaven and earth and could transform them to the extreme, possessing boundless might. The Thunder clan controlled divine retribution and had inconceivably powerful attacks. We still have to consider this matter carefully. A world overlord from the Qin clan spoke. Yu Changkong nodded, all right, we can't be impulsive for this matter. We need to plan it out. The few of them discussed here as the demons in their hearts grew deeper and deeper. In truth, Yu Changkong also discovered that he was sinking deeper and deeper. However, he didn't care. What he wanted was strength. He was willing to pay any price. At this moment, Qin Wentian came to a mountain range. During these years, he had been busy with cultivation. Other than cultivation, he was also searching for Luo Shenlei's whereabouts. After learning of the marriage proposal from the Qin clan and Luo Shenlei's disappearance, Qin Wentian had always been very worried. This was especially so after he heard the rumors that Luo Shenlei might have killed two powerful world overlords from the Luoshan clan. The worry in his heart grew even more intense. Hence, other than cultivating, he also started to search for Luo Shenlei's whereabouts. Right now, he also faintly found some clues. Right now, in this mountain range he was in, there were traces of Luo Shenlei. At this moment, he stood at the peak of the mountain range and stared at the sea of blood below. The entire mountain range was dyed red with blood, a ghastly sight to behold. Qin Wentian's heart also trembled. Qin Wentian mumbled, "Where are you exactly? What did you experience? Why did you choose to walk on this path?" He understood that Luo Shenlei most probably walked on the same path as Yu Changkong. Don't you understand? In his mind, a bewitching voice rang out, "In the world of reincarnation, you all will eventually have to walk on this path. You have no choice. If not, based on your own comprehension, you will forever be slower than the cultivation speed of others. If you cultivate now, there's still time. If you are any later, you might truly be consigned to eternal damnation." Scram! Qin Wentian roared in rage, his expression was cold to the extreme. Every time his state of heart wavered, evil spirits would appear to bewitch him. Right now, he felt increasingly disgusted. Most probably, these evil spirits were the ones who bewitched Lair, causing her to walk on this path. Chapter 1836. In the world of reincarnation, the experts were all focused on their cultivation. Many years passed and it was already unknown what level the others have reached. But for those experts from the supreme ancient immortal realms, they were all extremely talented characters. This was why they were sent to the legendary place in the Tiandao Sacred Academy. There was no need to doubt that their growth would definitely be extremely shocking. Finally, a battle broke the peace that had lasted for a long time. In an ancient city in the world of reincarnation, Yu Changkong and the Qin clan's world overlord acted against the mystical maiden of the Nine Heavens mystical palace. It was rumored that goddess Nikhang also appeared there. Other than this, Yu Changkong and the Qin clan also joined forces with a peak character from another power. It was the prison god clan from the Eternity region, an extremely powerful clan. The mystical maiden and goddess Nikhang were both captured. Coincidentally, the experts from the Qiankuan sect were there as well. Lin Xiao, a supreme character from the Qiankuan sect, was interested in the mystical maiden of this generation. He naturally acted to help and a heaven-shaking battle erupted. Yu Changkong and the others actually didn't manage to capture the two of them. When this matter spread out, it instantly attracted the attention of all the experts from the supreme ancient immortal realms. After that, the experts from the various powers all rushed towards the ancient city. Yu Changkong and the Qin clan were already so impudent. They actually acted against the mystical maiden of the Nine Heavens mystical palace. What were they planning to do exactly? The mystical maiden of this generation was the successor of the Nine Heavens mystical palace, the future #1 immortal in the Nine Heavens. Was Yu Changkong crazy or the experts from the Qin clan? Or could it be that they were preparing to join forces and capture all the experts from the supreme ancient immortal realms? This competition even caused a series of chain reactions. The powers behind them were all paying attention, but they seemed to have reached some sort of tacit agreement to not interfere, allowing the most outstanding figures in their sects and clans to fight on their own. Very soon, news circulated out. Someone saw Luo Shenlei. Her entire person had changed and she was currently heading towards the ancient city. Many people said that she was going there for revenge, to find Yu Changkong for revenge. After Qin Wentian heard that Lei Er was heading there, he didn't hesitate and directly headed there. He definitely couldn't allow anything to happen to Lei Er. Although Lei Er might have undergone some changes, her foundation was inferior to Yu Changkong's. Also, Yu Changkong had cultivated the evil arts for a longer period of time compared to her. His character was despicable and unscrupulous. Lei Er would most probably still lose if she fought against Yu Changkong. For a period of time, in a certain ancient city in the world of reincarnation, powerful characters from all over the supreme ancient immortal realms descended. Back then, it was Yu Changkong and the Qin clan who invited everyone to a gathering to discuss how to deal with the people from the Tiandao Sacred Academy. But this time around, everyone headed there on their own initiative. It was still a conflict caused by Yu Changkong and the Qin clan. This time around, things wouldn't be as peaceful as before. Those peak characters from the supreme ancient immortal realms who have cultivated for many years most probably wouldn't have any patience. It has been many years since they came to the world of reincarnation from the supreme ancient immortal realms, but they still didn't know the secret of the legendary place. How should they be considered to have attained the Tao? In a certain courtyard in the ancient city, there were a few maidens here. One of them could be said to be a supreme beauty. Her skin was whiter than snow and she had a countenance that was unrivaled under the heavens. Even when compared to Goddess Nikhang, she wasn't inferior in any way. Goddess Nikhang was known as the #1 beauty of the heaven region. But in truth, there was one person that no one in the world dared to call her the #1 beauty of the 9 heavens mystical palace. The 9 heavens mystical maiden was the #1 beauty of the 9 heavens. Her beauty was absolutely world-shaking, transcendent. The mystical maiden was the next generation successor of the 9 heavens mystical palace. How could she be inferior? In truth, many people felt that the #1 beauty of the heaven region, the mystical maiden, should be ranked on the same level as Goddess Nikhang. At this moment, not too far away from the mystical maiden of the 9 heavens mystical palace, sat a young man. He was incomparably handsome, extremely handsome. Despite his young age, he had a transcendent demeanor. He was Lin Xiao, a supreme character of the Qiankuan sect and was known as the future Qiankuan sect leader. His comprehension of the Qiankuan sect's ultimate art, the universe art, was extremely high. Right now, he had already comprehended the universe diagram, allowing him to borrow the power of the heavens and earth to forge a supreme law body, suppressing the cosmos. Lin Xiao and the mystical maiden stood together, just like back then when Qin Dangtian stood together with Goddess Nikhang. They looked extremely harmonious, like Tao companions born from the heavens. However, if Lin Xiao wanted to marry the future #1 beauty of the 9 heavens, this was an impossible task. How could the #1 beauty of the 9 heavens marry someone? But if there was no challenge, what meaning was there to him, Lin Xiao? For ordinary beauties, he could have as many as he wanted. Because, he was Lin Xiao. Right now, many people have arrived. Lin Xiao spoke. The mystical maiden nodded her head lightly. Her expression was calm, with no fluctuations at all. On her beautiful face, there seemed to be no fluctuations at all. Even if she was ambushed by the Qin clan and Yu Changkong, there would be no fluctuations at all. Yu Changkong and the others from the Qin clan are merely jumping clowns. I will accept their lives. Lin Xiao spoke again. Have you thought this through? Kill the people from the Qin clan? The mystical maiden inclined her head and stared at Lin Xiao. Although her expression was as calm as ever, a faint fluctuation could be seen in her eyes. The Qin clan, Qiankuan sect, 9 heavens mystical palace, all of them stood at the peak of the heaven region. Right now, the Qin clan was in a golden age. Heaven's son Qin Dangtian was the future ruler of the Qin clan. His existence caused all the geniuses in the heaven region to lose their luster. These people from the Qin clan won't be able to achieve anything great. With Qin Dang Tian around, they would never be able to rise up. They might even walk the path of evil. Since they dared to act against you, so what if you kill them? Lin Xiao calmly replied. If Qin Dang Tian knows that you killed the people from the Qin clan, he definitely wouldn't let this matter rest. In the future, if I manage to become a heavenly deity, I will have to fight against Heaven's Son sooner or later. Lin Xiao's expression was as calm as ever, like he was talking about an ordinary matter. He didn't have the people from the Qin clan in the world of reincarnation in his eyes at all. His target was the all-powerful Heaven's Son of the Qin clan. There are rumors that the legendary place of the Sacred Academy has been opened, causing a huge change in the Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms. Who do you think the future Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms would belong to? The mystical maiden asked. Me. Lin Xiao laughed. After that, he continued, other than me, there might also be Heaven's Son Qin Dang Tian and 7 abstinences from the Pure Land of Bliss. This reverend from the Buddhist sect has unfathomable depths. Naturally, the people from the Che clan, God-destroying palace and prison god clan aren't too bad as well. Naturally, there's also you. The Tiandao Sacred Academy bestowed the title of Mystical Maiden to the Heavenly Dao rankings. Are there no people on the rankings that could enter your eyes? The Mystical Maiden laughed. The rankers on the Heavenly Dao rankings of the Ziwei Divine Court were all killed by someone like Yu Changkong. What else can we say? Although the rankers on the Heavenly Dao rankings all have the potential to become heavenly deities, you are asking who the future Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms belongs to. Even ordinary heavenly deities wouldn't have enough weight, right? However, Gu Ting from the Great Devil Divine Palace should be considered a character. The Qinqing Realm Lord, Qin Wentian, shot to fame after a single battle and was accepted by the Tiandao Sacred Academy. In fact, it's rumored that he obtained the recognition of the Time King and directly entered the Heavenly Dao rankings. What about him? The Mystical Maiden commented. I don't understand him at all. Lin Xiao laughed. Qin Wentian had just become famous not long ago. Hence, Lin Xiao didn't understand him and didn't give any evaluation. Seems like you are filled with disdain for Yu Changkong. The Mystical Maiden calmly spoke. Someone who deceives the world to gain fame. For the sake of climbing up, he would do anything. Most probably, there's no despicable thing he wouldn't do. Could it be that I need to look up to such a person? Lin Xiao spoke. However, it's precisely such a despicable person who is the most dangerous. Don't forget that in the battle earlier, even when facing against you, he wasn't at a disadvantage at all. The Empyrean Maiden looked at Lin Xiao, disagreeing with his opinion. Evil and treacherous people, their temperaments are similarly extremely tenacious. They can abandon everything, abandon their conscience, sell their souls, and are extremely vicious and evil. More often than not, these kinds of people can become extremely terrifying existences. We need to be vigilant against them. What you said seems logical. Lin Xiao calmly nodded. But in his heart, he still looked down on people like Yu Changkong. Speaking of that expert from the God-exterminating palace, I have to remind you all to be careful of him. He should have already arrived. The danger of this person is definitely not inferior to Yu Changkong. The Mystical Maiden spoke, as though she was wary of an existence. That expert from the God-exterminating palace was definitely a character that caused headaches. No matter who faced him, they had to be extremely wary of him. I know. Lin Xiao nodded. This time around, the people from the Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms gathered here again. Most probably, things wouldn't end so peacefully like before. Tens of years ago, everyone merely glanced at each other. In fact, there were some who didn't even arrive and there were also some who didn't say anything from the start to the end. They only quietly glanced at each other before they returned. Just like what the Mystical Maiden and Lin Xiao discussed, the people from the various powers had indeed arrived. At this moment, that expert from the god-exterminating palace they were talking about was currently standing on top of an ancient palace in the ancient city. Under the moonlight, he stared at the city. His eyes were extremely cold, this coldness seemed to originate from his soul. Other than him, an expert from the Che clan also arrived. That expert from the Che clan who was listed by Lin Xiao as one of the future peak characters of the Che clan was currently roaming around the ancient city, as though he was busy with something, carving something in the city. However, all of this was done silently. Outside the city, several monks from the Pure Land of Bliss stared in the direction of the city gate as they pressed their palms together. This ancient city was about to suffer a calamity. Their senior brother 7 abstinences went to the Western Paradise to seek the Buddhist Tao. They had no idea how he was doing. Even before he returned, a storm was already brewing. In a small courtyard in the city, a pitch-black figure sat cross-legged. Her countenance was pale and beautiful, so beautiful that it was demonic. Her entire person seemed to have melded into the darkness. This time around, she came here for the sake of revenge. Yu Changkong had to pay the price for his actions. In another courtyard in the city, a young man stood with his hands clasped behind his back. He stared at Yi Kong and sighed in his heart. Lei Er should have already arrived, but he had no idea where she was. Chapter 1837. On this day, in the ancient city, white clouds floated in the sky and a gentle breeze blew, making people feel refreshed. In the central region of the ancient city, there was an empty platform. The ground was extremely clean, without a speck of dust. There was a group of people setting up a banquet there. Many people sat on the ground, drinking wine and making merry. These people all had extraordinary auras. The men were handsome, and there were beauties accompanying them. In the distance, many people glanced over and discussed. Those people seated here were all supreme characters from the peak powers of the world of reincarnation. Among them, there was the supreme genius of the Moon God Hall, Yu Changkong, as well as the 3 peak characters of the Qin clan. It was said that all of them were existences nearing the divinity realm and had unfathomable cultivation bases. Other than Yu Changkong and the experts from the Qin clan, there were also experts from the 3rd hegemonic power in the supreme ancient immortal realms. They were from the prison god clan of the Eternity region. That supreme character from the Eternal region prison god race was none other than the expert who formed an alliance with Yu Changkong and the 3 experts from the Qin clan, wanting to deal with the mystical maiden together. Today, they were drinking wine here as if they were waiting for something. Because they knew that the experts of the various powers had already entered this ancient city, and they were probably not far away now. Since someone is here, why not have a drink with us? At this moment, Yu Changkong spoke. It was unknown who he was talking to. From the crowd, a few groups of people walked out. They were from different factions and among them, there were experts from the Great Devil Divine Palace as well as experts from the Earth Thunder Clan. How elegant of you all! The voice of the Thunder Clan's world overlord was like thunder. Just a casual sentence from him would cause the heavens and earth to tremble, causing the eardrums of everyone to tremble. I've heard that the Earth Thunder Clan is known to control the power of divine punishment in the world. Using the power of lightning as a guide, they can send down divine punishment. The last time we met, we couldn't have a good chat. Now that we meet again, we must drink to our heart's content. Yu Changkong laughed. The Thunder Clan's expert sat down and wasn't polite at all. He stared at Yu Changkong, is that so? What about after we drink to our heart's content? I heard that the 2 of you joined hands to deal with the Empyrean Fairy. How bold of you, your intentions are worthy of death. Since these people could form an alliance to deal with the mystical maiden, they could also form an alliance to deal with him and everyone else from the supreme ancient immortal realms. I know that all of you have doubts in your hearts. That's why I've been waiting here. It just so happens that I can use this opportunity to meet all of you again and truly communicate with you. How delightful would that be? Yu Changkong laughed uproariously, completely ignoring the words of the other party. Right now, since everyone already knew, there was no longer a need to hide anything. Everyone could step out and compete against each other. If it was before, you wouldn't have the right to sit with me and drink. Gu Ting coldly spoke. Clearly, he also looked down on Yu Changkong. Gu Ting naturally could sense how despicable Yu Changkong was. Yu Changkong narrowed his eyes and glanced at Gu Ting. However, the smile on his face was as deep as ever. But the current him only made people feel that he was like a venomous snake. I'm here to join in the fun. Another voice rang out. Devilox from the Divine Ox clan walked out. After that, more and more experts arrived. All of them were people from the supreme ancient immortal realms. Only they knew everything and rushed here. At this moment, the gazes of the crowd turned to a certain direction. A group of figures walked over. One of them was a maiden with supreme beauty, exuding boundless magnificence, causing many people to be mesmerized by her beauty. Even for those peak characters from the supreme ancient immortal realms, they couldn't help but to praise her in their hearts. The beauty of the mystical maiden from the Nine Heavens mystical palace was truly stunning. Her beauty was comparable to goddess Nikhang. The people from the Nine Heavens mystical palace also arrived. Lin Xiao came along with them as well. His gaze was cold when he stared at Yu Changkong and the experts from the Qin clan, filled with unmasked killing intent. Regardless of Lin Xiao from the Qinkuan sect or the mystical maiden from the Nine Heavens mystical palace, even though they were targeted by Yu Changkong and the others, they didn't hide and directly walked out. This was a form of confidence in their own strength. Brother Che, since you are here, why don't you come out together with us? Lin Xiao calmly spoke. From the crowd, a young man dressed in simple robes walked out. His face was angular and his deep eyes contained traces of the passage of time. Clearly, his actual age was far from what he appeared to be. Che Ying from the Che clan. Many people involuntarily turned their gazes to him. He came from the Che clan of the Earth region, the #1 weaponsmithing aristocrat clan in the supreme ancient immortal realms. The Che clan was famous for their weaponsmithing. Even the various peak powers all hoped to have a good relationship with the Che clan. In the supreme ancient immortal realms, there were many peak powers below the heavenly deity race. I heard that there was an extremely fascinating battle not long ago. Sadly, I missed it. I wonder if I can make up for my regret today and broaden my horizons. Che Ying calmly spoke. He was naturally referring to the battle between Yu Changkong and the other two hegemonic powers against the mystical maiden and Lin Xiao. There shouldn't be a problem. Yu Changkong calmly smiled. It shouldn't be just these people who have arrived, right? Right now, since some things have already happened, it meant that everyone has already torn off their masks. In that case, there was no need to hide anything anymore. Today, experts from the various powers gathered here, there would definitely be a clash between them. It was unavoidable. I heard that you, Che Ying, have shocking capabilities and are able to refine everything in the world into divine weapons. Today, I also wish to broaden my horizons. An expert from the Thunder clan stared at Che Ying as he spoke. His eyes gleamed with lightning, filled with a hint of provocation. After that, more and more experts from the peak powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms arrived. The number of people here had already reached more than half. At this moment, an extremely intense blood chi descended. The gazes of the crowd turned in that direction, and after that, they only saw a wave of coldness. An absolutely beautiful silhouette walked over, her figure was like a phantom. Her features were outstanding, but she gave off an extremely cold feeling. No one dared to get too close to her, it was as though she was extremely dangerous. At the instant they saw her, the eyes of the three experts from the Qin clan brightened. Just like when they saw the mystical maiden, unmasked greed could be seen in their eyes. Yu Changkong's eyes flashed. After that, he laughed. Truly, there was a path to heaven, but she didn't want to take it. Since she took the initiative to send herself to him, there was no need for him to look for her anymore. As long as he captured her, given the unclear relationship between Qin Wentian and Luo Shenlei, there was no need to worry that Qin Wentian wouldn't appear, right? Although he had become extremely strong in the world of reincarnation, there was still a knot in his heart that had yet to be unraveled. That knot was none other than Qin Wentian. Seems like Luo Shenlei has truly fallen. Upon sensing the change in Luo Shenlei's aura, it was much stronger compared to the past, and she didn't even bother to mask it. Clearly, she had cultivated an evil art and was rapidly growing stronger. Hence, he came here to look for Yu Changkong. Far away in the crowd, Qin Wentian was there as well. When he saw Luo Shenlei and sensed her aura, he felt an unbearable feeling in his heart. The lines on his face changed, returning to his original appearance as he walked towards the crowd. When Qin Wentian walked over, Yu Changkong was first stunned. After that, the smile on his face grew even wider. Qin Wentian actually appeared just like that. Back then in the convention, there was already an ambiguous relationship between Qin Wentian and Luo Shenlei. Now, the moment Luo Shenlei appeared, Qin Wentian also walked out. Seems like their relationship truly wasn't ordinary. The people from the Qin clan also saw Qin Wentian. All of them had faint smiles on their faces. When Luo Shenlei saw Qin Wentian walking over, her cold heart involuntarily trembled. She called out in her heart, "Elder brother." Qin Wentian appeared after her. Clearly, he came out because of her. Seems like today is a good day. A heavenly deity disciple of the Tiandao Sacred Academy has appeared. Everyone will have a chance to decipher the secrets. An expert from the Qin clan calmly spoke. The gazes of everyone turned to Qin Wentian, staring at the handsome young man before them. To many people, they had no impression of Qin Wentian. At most, they were like Lin Xiao, they had heard of the Qingqing Realm Lord's name before, but they had no understanding of him. "Elder brother, why did you come?" Luo Shenlei transmitted her voice to Qin Wentian. There was some bitterness in her voice. This was her matter, the hatred she had shouldered. Grandpa Lifeless died because of her. No matter what, she had to face it. Either Yu Changkong died, or she would die. But now, she implicated her elder brother. She truly didn't want this to happen. Many people here were once bewitched by Yu Changkong. They didn't have any goodwill towards the people from the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Qin Wentian's appearance was even more dangerous compared to her. Yu Changkong wanted to deal with him, the people from the Qin clan wanted to deal with him. As for the others, there might be people who wanted to make him stay. "Silly lass, it's because you are my younger sister." Qin Wentian transmitted his voice in reply, his tone was filled with doting love. He only had this one younger sister, a younger sister who was connected to him by blood. How could he not step out? Even if he knew the danger, he still didn't hesitate. Luo Shenlei's eyes were red. Upon seeing this scene, Yu Changkong coldly laughed, "There's no need to communicate through voice transmissions anymore. Seems like the two of you are a pair of lovers. Yu Changkong, your despicableness has already surpassed my imagination. After the matters of the past were exposed, you can actually still live until now, living in shame. Even if you use all sorts of despicable methods, you won't be able to wash away everything. You, Yu Changkong, will forever be nothing more than a shameless villain." Qin Wentian stared at Yu Changkong as he mocked. It was like he had poked at Yu Changkong's sore spot. Qin Wentian narrowed his eyes and placed the wine cup in his hand down. He slowly stood up as a terrifying aura gushed forth frenziedly. He initially didn't want to start the battle so soon. He initially wanted to sit down and chat with everyone to create the atmosphere. Sadly, there were some people who seemed to be in a hurry to die. Everyone was watching with great interest. They didn't expect that the battle would start so soon. Although your words are logical and he is indeed a despicable villain, today, his life is mine. A voice rang out. Upon seeing Yu Changkong standing up, Lin Xiao placed the wine cup in his hand down. He inclined his head as his eyes gleamed with the light of the universe. Chapter 1838. Yu Changkong glanced at Lin Xiao. In the past, he had already fought against Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao was truly very powerful. Most probably, before Lin Xiao entered the world of reincarnation, he was already a terrifying world overlord. If it was in the past, Lin Xiao would be able to kill him easily in the supreme ancient immortal realms. But things were different now. This place was the world of reincarnation. He, Yu Changkong, was no longer the Yu Changkong of the past. Yu Changkong slowly rose up into the air. He stared at everyone and smiled. If anyone wants to fight, feel free to come. I'm willing to accompany you. Back then, we didn't have a good fight. Since everyone is gathered here today, I hope you all won't have any regrets. His words seemed to contain a deeper meaning. Today, the experts of the various powers have all arrived. Would they be able to settle things here in the world of reincarnation? The experts from the Qin clan and Prison God clan all put down the wine cups in their hands as their eyes gleamed with coldness. The secret of the world of reincarnation had yet to be unraveled. In that case, they naturally felt that if they wanted to verify their Tao in the legendary place, they had to become the only existence here. This wasn't only their thoughts, many people were thinking the same as well. The true legend only belonged to a single person, the most dazzling person. Only to see that at this moment, an extremely evil and terrifying aura descended, enveloping the entire space. For a period of time, the Qinkuan world suddenly changed. Black fog churned as the clouds turned black. Even the heavens and earth dimmed as the entire world was filled with a sense of oppression. Yu Changkong stood in the air, resembling an evil god. Behind him, many howling heads could be seen. Each of the heads radiated a different kind of terrifying energy, causing people to feel fear from the depths of their souls. Finally, he no longer needs to hide. Everyone stared at the current Yu Changkong. This was the true him in the world of reincarnation. Right now, everyone in the supreme ancient immortal realms knew that Yu Changkong cultivated an evil art. There was no longer a need for him to continue hiding. What he wanted now was to kill everyone here. From now onwards, he would become the only existence in the world of reincarnation. The people in the center of the ancient city inclined their heads and stared at the sky. All of them could sense that terrifying aura. That terrifying might caused their hearts to palpitate, causing them to feel terror. Their bodies involuntarily retreated madly, wanting to get further away from this area. However, they discovered that no matter how they retreated, they were still enveloped by this might. They had no way to escape. Yu Changkong was too powerful. When his strength erupted forth, the radius of his envelopment was extremely vast. Lin Xiao inclined his head and stared at the skies. He was only slightly inferior when compared to Heaven's Son because Heaven's Son, Qin Dang Tian, had already become a deity. At this moment, the experts from the Qin clan flew towards Luo Shenlei. When they stared at Luo Shenlei's beautiful face, greed could be seen in their eyes. Although the current Luo Shenlei also exuded an evil and seductive aura, she was even more attractive to them, causing them to want to obtain her. A terrifying blood qi circulated around Luo Shenlei. Her aura grew increasingly demonic. An incarnation of a blood queen appeared behind her, causing the entire space to turn into a purgatory of blood. Numerous terrifying blood demon souls manifested, all of them were saint beasts of the demon race. Each of them radiated an aura that would cause one's heart to palpitate. The Qin clan originally already had an extremely deep grudge with Luo Shenlei. Her father, the Sky Order heavenly deity, was crippled in the hands of Heaven's Son Qin Dang Tian. Right now in the world of reincarnation, the people of the Qin clan actually forced her to marry him. This grudge had to be settled. Quickly capture her. The three experts from the Qin clan transmitted their voices to each other. The experts here were as many as the clouds and everyone was watching the show. They mustn't waste too much time on Luo Shenlei. The people of the Qin clan are actually so despicable. Qin Wentian spoke. He took a step out and directly appeared beside Luo Shenlei, facing the three experts from the Qin clan. This was the first time he directly faced someone from the Qin clan. Although he had seen Heaven's son Qin Dangtian before, the him now basically didn't have the strength to fight against Qin Dangtian. I will deal with him. The two of you go and capture Luo Shenlei. A genius from the Qin clan spoke. His aura was terrifying as he directly walked towards Qin Wentian. A disciple of the Tiandao Sacred Academy? I'm also somewhat interested. On the other side, a powerful expert from the Prison God clan also walked over, walking towards Qin Wentian. A towering might gushed forth from him as he grabbed out in the air. In an instant, a spatial prison appeared in the air, shining with boundless light, locking down the space where Qin Wentian was at. This spatial prison gleamed with incomparably resplendent light, like a prison used to imprison gods. It was indestructible. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the spatial prison. In his mind, he recalled the introduction of the Prison God clan in the Heavenly Dao Library. They were able to create the strongest spatial prison in the world. Those who were imprisoned here would be imprisoned for eternity. Right now, this spatial prison wanted to imprison him. Imprison me? Qin Wentian stared at the expert from the Prison God clan. His expression was extremely cold. Today, Yu Changkong and the experts from the Qin clan were already very difficult to deal with. Now that the Qin clan acted against Luo Shenlei, the expert from the Prison God clan actually acted against him. Since this was the case, the Prison God clan was his enemy. Seal. A terrifying sealing energy brewed in the air. Numerous sealing gates appeared in the air, unceasingly smashing into the spatial prison. Since the experts of the Prison God clan wanted to create a prison here to trap Qin Wentian and Qin Wentian might as well fight to the death together with him. In the world of reincarnation, everyone could comprehend and use any law attribute energy. Hence, to Qin Wentian, the sealing law attribute was something he was born with. Chapter 1839. That expert from the Prison God clan was named Gue Chen. He was a peak-level world overlord from the Prison God clan. Among the experts from the Prison God clan who entered the world of reincarnation, his strength was the strongest and his status was the highest. He has already comprehended the Tao of banishment, able to imprison people for eternity within the void, allowing them to live and die on their own. However, when he used the spatial divine prison to seal Qin Wentian, he didn't expect Qin Wentian to be proficient in sealing energy. Qin Wentian, who could easily enter the spatial divine prison, was also sealed within. Gue Chen inclined his head and stared at the sealed space. The flowing sealing light was terrifying to the extreme. Gue Chen's expression was cold as he grabbed out with his palm towards Qin Wentian. In an instant, a formless energy directly stretched out, grabbing onto Qin Wentian. This formless energy seemed to originate from the void, manifesting numerous gigantic palms on Qin Wentian's body. Qin Wentian willed it as an energy that could control everything in this world descended. Although this place was the world of reincarnation and the energy here was different from the past, the great Daos were interlinked. The energy of world hearts existed in a different form in this world of reincarnation. In this sealed space, a formless tempest manifested, transforming into a terrifying might that blasted onto him, directly shattering the gigantic palm imprints. Boom! In an instant, another prison manifested from the void, directly enveloping Qin Wentian, imprisoning him within. This prison wasn't as large as the one before, but its might was still shocking. Gue Chen's methods were simply formless. As a supreme world overlord from the Prison God clan, there was no need to doubt his strength. Freeze. Qin Wentian spoke. The flowing light around the prison seemed to freeze. After that, Qin Wentian stabbed out with a finger as the still prison directly crumbled apart. He turned his gaze to Gui Chen and could sense the terrifying fluctuations from the void. His body radiated an incomparably powerful sealing light that shot into the void. After that, his Dao bone shone with resplendent light as a terrifying time intent descended. Even in the world of reincarnation, his Dao bone was still present in his body. Beams of incomparably resplendent light radiated from his body, shuttling through the void. Everywhere he passed by, everything would be frozen in time. Right now, the energy he comprehended had even fused with the power of sealing. That power that could freeze everything shot towards Gui Chen. Gui Chen furrowed his brows when he sensed it. Resplendent treasured light circulated around him, causing him to be in an absolute space. When the power of freezing time flowed past him, the space he was in seemed to belong to him alone. He wasn't frozen in time. His eyes were as cold and tyrannical as ever as he stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian took a step forward. He sealed the space and fought to the death, but he didn't want to waste time here. Outside, Lei Er was still facing powerful enemies. He sealed the space because he wanted to end the battle as quickly as possible. Hence, he didn't even bother to conceal the power of his Dao bone and directly unleashed it. With a flash, he vanished from his original location and directly appeared in front of the absolute space Gui Chen was in. To characters at their level, close combat was extremely dangerous. If they were the slightest bit careless, they would be consigned to eternal damnation. The vast majority of battles were settled by relying on the might of their Dao arts and world hearts. Their attack range was extremely vast and there was no need for them to get close to their opponents. However, Qin Wentian chose to get close. He wanted to finish his opponent quickly. In that case, he needed to strike out with lightning speed. When Qin Wentian appeared in front of the absolute space, the boundless energy in the world gushed into Qin Wentian's body. The sealing light circulating in the air also frenziedly flowed into his body. From his fingertips, a terrifying power of light and darkness gushed forth, exuding a power that would cause one's heart to tremble. It was like all the comprehensions he had gained through these years were all gathered at his fingertips. Erupt. His finger technique blasted towards the absolute space, penetrating through it. Gui Chen seemed to have sensed something but it was already too late. He didn't expect Qin Wentian's methods to be so intense. As the finger landed, a terrifying energy penetrated through the absolute space and landed on his body. At this instant, Gui Chen felt a fear that came from the depths of his soul. He felt that he was about to die. His life was about to stop at this moment. There was no destructive power. That attack wasn't tyrannical, but he truly felt that his life was about to end. It was as though this was a restriction on his life. This power wanted to seal his life force, causing him to die formlessly. Even his soul felt as though it was out of his control. He was Gui Chen from the Prison God clan. Gui Chen was an extremely powerful existence, a future heavenly deity. How could he be willing to die like this? An astonishing power erupted from his body, gushing out from his heart. At this moment, Gui Chen truly seemed like a god. It was as though he himself was a Dharma body that blocked all the invading powers. His body was an absolute space, no power could invade it. A beam of light flashed as Gui Chen directly shot out, breaking through the power of the seal, breaking through the prison he had set up and rushed into the void. With a thunderous boom, the prison broke apart. Qin Wentian walked out from within. His expression was like ice as he stared at Gui Chen. The people in the surroundings all felt shock in their hearts when they saw this scene. The Qinqing realm lord who just rose to fame during the convention was actually able to fight against Gui Chen from the Prison God clan. If one were to talk about the time he rose to fame, Qin Wentian definitely rose to fame very late. He could be considered a rising star among the younger generations. Being recruited by the Tiandao Sacred Academy and being ranked on the Heavenly Dao rankings was an acknowledgement of his talent and potential. But as for his combat prowess, many people didn't believe in it. This was especially so when his opponent was a peak genius from the Prison God clan, Gui Chen. Initially, everyone thought that this would be a one-sided battle. But the truth seemed to be different. This Qingqing realm lord actually managed to force Gui Chen to retreat. Gu Ting from the Great Devil Divine Palace and the experts from the Heavenly Deity Mountain were all from the Mystic region. They were the most shocked by this scene. Seems like many people have underestimated this Qingqing realm lord. It wouldn't be so easy for someone to capture him and force him to reveal the secrets of the world of reincarnation. What technique is that? Gui Chen stared at Qin Wentian as he asked. That feeling earlier was too deep in his heart. Although he has already broken free, he still felt a lingering fear in his heart. He absolutely didn't want to experience it again. It was too dangerous. In fact, he might even die silently without any pain. Qin Wentian ignored him. His silhouette was like lightning as he sped towards Luo Shenlei's battlefield. The three experts from the Qin clan all cultivated evil arts. Although Luo Shenlei was already very powerful now, it was still impossible for her to stand against them. In the supreme ancient immortal realms, her strength was originally inferior to the three world overlords of the Qin clan. Right now, it was already extremely difficult for her to endure against them. Yu Changkong has been paying attention to Qin Wentian. From the moment Qin Wentian arrived here, he didn't feel too much hatred for the others. It was only for the sake of cultivation that he had to trample on their corpses to advance. However, it was different for Qin Wentian. This was someone he truly hated. Upon seeing Qin Wentian forcing Gui Chen to retreat, a cold smile appeared on Yu Changkong's face. He silently mused, as expected, "You didn't disappoint me." He had always felt that his talent was extremely high. The truth was indeed so. If not, he wouldn't have dared to pretend to be a God King successor and even obtain the recognition of the heavenly deities of the Ziwei Divine Court. However, the heavens actually created a Qingqing realm lord who participated in the convention with him. All the glory seemed to belong to this Qingqing realm lord, snatching away everything that belonged to Yu Changkong. Hence, Qin Wentian had to die. The grudge between us, I will settle it later. Yu Changkong's silhouette flashed, he actually gave up on Lin Xiao who was fighting against him and sped towards Qin Wentian's location. Lin Xiao frowned and glanced in Yu Changkong's direction. Yu Changkong who cultivated an evil art was truly very powerful. He had the insights of so many people gathered on him. Most probably, his devouring evil art had used many people as nourishment. One could foresee that his final target would be these peak characters from the supreme ancient immortal realms. If he could devour these people, Yu Changkong would most probably be able to easily ascend to the heavenly divinity realm. Qin Wentian. Yu Changkong let out a thunderous roar, causing the heavens and earth to tremble. Numerous terrifying heads directly rushed towards Qin Wentian, each of them containing a fearsome Dao might. An incomparably resplendent light radiated from Qin Wentian as rumbling sounds echoed out. Qin Wentian blasted out with a fist art that transformed into boundless fist light, containing a fearsome might as it blasted into the heads, shattering them. Yu Changkong's silhouette directly appeared before him. His cold and evil eyes gleamed with a sinister light, as well as a hint of malevolence. Finally, he stood before Qin Wentian again. From the day he became strong, he had always been dreaming about this day. He wanted to wash away all the humiliation he suffered and devour Qin Wentian, turning him into nourishment. Have you ever thought that there would be a day like this? Yu Changkong spoke to Qin Wentian. As he spoke, the evil head behind him also spoke, causing the entire space to tremble. An extremely cold killing intent flickered in Qin Wentian's eyes. Back then, because the hegemonic level world overlord of the Ziwei Divine Court was present, although he exposed Yu Changkong, the Ziwei Divine Court still brought him away. He had no way to kill them. He didn't expect that Yu Changkong actually managed to survive, living on with so much hatred. Right now, there was a high possibility that Yu Changkong might have already devoured his fellow sect members from the Ziwei Divine Court. His eyes gleamed with an evil light. The power of the evil art unceasingly influenced the minds of people. It was unknown if they themselves were aware that they were being corroded by the evil art. Right now, regardless of Yu Changkong or the experts from the Qin clan, all of them have already walked on a path of madness. In fact, they even placed their evil thoughts on the Nine Heavens mystical palace. Right now, Yu Changkong wanted to devour everyone here. Boom! A surge of absolute power bore down. Qin Wentian soared up into the air. He didn't say anything, only his heart was filled with coldness and killing intent. Chapter 1840. When Yu Changkong saw Qin Wentian rushing towards him, the look in his eyes turned extremely demonic. The sky churned as countless heads manifested from the black fog. At this moment, all of them erupted forth. Even when he fought against Lin Xiao earlier, his might wasn't as terrifying as this. In this boundlessly vast space, it was like the end of the world had arrived. Those heads let out terrifying roars, each of them filled with boundless resentment and the might of magical arts. From afar, the spectators whose wills weren't resolute directly succumbed to it. Some even bled from their 7 apertures and died. There were also some who instantly turned mad and howled madly. This scene was too terrifying. The space where Qin Wentian was at was about to be completely buried. Yu Changkong didn't plan to play with Qin Wentian slowly. He wanted to use the most violent method to suppress Qin Wentian before torturing him to death, making him feel so much pain that he would rather die than live. However, at this moment, not only did Qin Wentian's speed not slow down, he sped up even more. It felt like the flow of time around him was changing while the flow of time around Qin Wentian seemed to be slowed down. One fast, one slow. In the eyes of everyone, they only felt that Qin Wentian was like a bolt of lightning, rushing towards Yu Changkong with no fear at all. The two of them had no patience to continue fighting. It felt like both of them wanted to fight it out in a single blow. Courting death. Yu Changkong roared. The countless heads condensed into a gigantic devil head that shot towards Qin Wentian, who was like a beam of light. Time freeze. A treasured light radiated from Qin Wentian as the power of his Dao bone was unleashed to the extreme. The time energy in the air seemed to turn from formless to corporeal, permeating the space. Qin Wentian could sense the flow of time in the surroundings and control this energy to the extreme. However, he still had no way to achieve absolute stillness. Yu Changkong's attack was extremely violent and terrifying. Only the gigantic devil head remained in the sky. Even the power of stillness had no way to break it, but it still managed to slow down the speed at which it was devouring Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's body had already arrived before Yu Changkong. Yu Changkong's eyes flickered with an extreme coldness, gleaming with an evil light. Qin Wentian's eyes flickered with an icy killing intent, exuding an extremely powerful killing intent. Go to hell! Yu Changkong roared, his voice shaking the heavens and earth. That gigantic devil head radiated a heaven-shaking devouring energy. Qin Wentian only felt that he had no way to resist. His body directly came into contact with Yu Changkong. Yu Changkong's hands directly grabbed onto his body, frenziedly absorbing his energy. However, at the same instant, Qin Wentian, who had already accumulated his energy, shot out a life-reaping beam of light, piercing through Yu Changkong's devil body and into his body. This attack was akin to risking his life. Yu Changkong cultivated the evil devil art and his nature had long since fallen. However, Qin Wentian also seemed to have gone crazy like him, unleashing this life-reaping attack with no regard for his own life. At this moment, Qin Wentian felt that the energy in his body was about to be devoured. His body, his flesh and blood, everything was about to be devoured. However, Yu Chankong's situation didn't seem to be any better than him. At this moment, Yu Chankong felt that he was no longer a living being. This feeling was very strange, causing him to feel terror in his heart which he hadn't felt for a very long time. After cultivating the evil devil art, how powerful was he? After devouring the energy of countless experts, his current combat prowess was unrivaled below the deity realm. He felt that if he fought against Qin Wentian again, he, who had sold his soul, would be able to crush Qin Wentian. But in reality, that wasn't the case. He had no way to tell exactly what sort of energy had entered his body, but there was no doubt that it was there. In addition, it made him feel that his life was about to come to a halt, unable to advance any further. What did this mean? This meant that he was dead. His life was no longer flowing. Maybe, this was even more terrifying than death. Did he sense it as well? In another space, the supreme world overlord of the prison god clan, Gue Qin, silently mused. Clearly, this attack that entered Yu Chankong's body was even more terrifying compared to the attack that struck his body earlier. No matter who it was, they would definitely not be willing to endure such a power. It was too bizarre and terrifying. That power, was it a seal on life? Wasn't this Qingqing realm lord a little too crazy? Every time he attacked, he would risk his life. In fact, he might even be willing to exchange his life for Yu Chankong's. At this moment, many people's view of Qin Wentian underwent a slight change. For those who didn't understand him before this, at this moment, they all had a deeper impression of the Qingqing realm lord, Qin Wentian. In the crowd, the bull demon had been observing the battle all this while. When he saw this scene, his eyes lit up with a dazzling radiance. His chance has finally arrived. His body soared up into the air, causing the earth to tremble. Devilox's speed was incomparably fast. In the blink of an eye, he appeared before the battlefield where Qin Wentian and Yu Chankong were locked in a stalemate. What is he doing? Everyone was stunned when they saw this figure suddenly rushing over. In fact, they didn't even have time to react. Devilox roared loudly as his palms transformed into the sharpest blade, directly penetrating through Qin Wentian's back, into Qin Wentian's body. Elder brother. An incomparably terrified voice rang out in the air. Luo Shenlei was paying attention to the battlefield. When she saw Devilox's attack directly penetrating Qin Wentian's body, a look of incomparable terror appeared on her face as her heart pounded madly. Initially, she was fighting against the experts from the Qin clan, but at this moment, how could she still be in the mood? A terrifying palm imprint directly slammed into her, causing her to be flung through the air. Terrifying blood qi churned wildly as Luo Shenlei coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. However, her blood-colored eyes were still staring fixedly at Qin Wentian. In the past, she caused the death of Grandpa Lifeless. Today, she was going to implicate her elder brother as well. His Dao bone is mine. A crazed look flashed in Devilox's eyes. He wanted to seize Qin Wentian's Dao bone. This was an extremely rare opportunity. Life, stop. Qin Wentian roared. The boundless energy in his body flowed in reverse as his Dao bone shone with an even more resplendent light. Boundless energy flowed into Devilox's body. At this moment, Devilox also entered the same state as Qin Wentian. He felt that his life force was about to stop flowing, and he would die just like that. Such an attack, a sure-kill attack, actually suffered a backlash from Qin Wentian's terrifying energy. This was something Devilox didn't expect. The three figures froze in the air as a strange silence descended. However, at this moment, the three experts from the Qin clan were all staring at Luo Shenlei. Earlier, when Devilox's attack pierced into Qin Wentian's body, Luo Shenlei called out a single word, elder brother. The relationship between her and Qin Wentian wasn't like what Yu Chankong had imagined. Luo Shenlei referred to Qin Wentian as elder brother. Her elder brother wasn't surnamed Luoshen but was surnamed Qin instead. Qin, This was the surname of their Qin clan. Also, Luo Shenlei had an extremely deep connection with their Qin clan. Once, there was a traitor of their Qin clan, a supreme character who caused the entire Qin clan to tremble. He married a wife who was none other than Luo Shenlei's daughter. Her surname was Luoshen. That woman was the younger sister of the Sky Order heavenly deity, Luo Shenlei's aunt. At this moment, Luo Shenlei referred to someone from the Qin clan as elder brother. This elder brother of hers was the Qingqing realm lord. He had extraordinary talent and obtained the recognition of a god king during the convention. After that, he was recruited by the Tiandao Sacred Academy and was ranked on the heavenly Dao rankings. Everything seemed to be pointing to a destination. How fast were their reactions? In an extremely short instant, they already connected the dots. Before this, they had never thought of this before because there were simply too many people with the surname Qin. How could they think of their own clansmen when a single Qin Wentian appeared? But for those with the surname Qin in the world, there was only one possibility for Luo Shenlei to refer to him as elder brother. That traitor of the Qin clan, that extremely powerful traitor. Qin Yuanfeng had a son. His son was right before their eyes. He was currently cultivating in the Tiandao Sacred Academy and had entered the world of reincarnation. When they thought of this, they felt a sense of absurdity. Things would actually be so dramatic. This was something they had never imagined even in their dreams. The daughter of the Sky Order heavenly deity from the Luoshen clan, Luo Shenlei, referred to him as elder brother. I didn't expect this, I truly didn't expect this. The three experts from the Qin clan turned their gazes to Qin Wentian. One of them spoke, I didn't expect that the traitor of our Qin clan back then, that supreme character, actually has a son. Also, his son is already so powerful. Is he here to take revenge on the Qin clan? The eyes of everyone flashed as they stared at the experts from the Qin clan. Earlier, they had also heard Luo Shenlei referring to Qin Wentian as elder brother. At this moment, when they heard the words of the experts from the Qin clan, they instantly thought of a person. In the ancient records of the various peak powers, there was a person who was extremely famous in the history of the Qin clan. His name was Qin Yuanfeng. Qin Wentian, you are actually Qin Yuanfeng's son. You are actually his son. The experts from the Qin clan laughed uproariously. The hearts of everyone in the surroundings trembled. A heaven son has already appeared in the Qin clan. Right now, the son of the traitor of the Qin clan has returned. The Qingqing realm lord, Qin Wentian. This crazy fellow, he was the son of the traitor of the Qin clan, Qin Yuanfeng, and the goddess of the Luoshen clan. This was truly a dream. But now, before Qin Yuanfeng's son could take revenge on the Qin clan, before he rose to a sufficiently powerful level, would he die here? Chapter 1841. The figures of the Qin clan's experts flashed as they sped towards Qin Wentian's location. They even temporarily ignored the injured Luo Shenlei. They were undoubtedly the ones who understood this part of history the most. If Qin Yuanfeng's descendants were still alive in this world, they had to kill them no matter what. Even if they returned to the Qin clan, it would still be considered a great contribution. Luo Shenlei's blood qi churned wildly. She roared in rage as her evil-looking figure rushed out once more. The blood mist churned and transformed into numerous blood souls, directly blocking the three experts from the Qin clan. The three of them coldly snorted and blasted out with a single strike, causing the space to tremble, wanting to destroy everything. Right now, Luo Shenlei was already an arrow at the end of its flight and could barely protect herself. How could she save Qin Wentian? The blood soul avatars were on the verge of shattering with a single strike, transforming into a blood mist. The experts from the Qin clan stabbed out a finger towards Qin Wentian. In an instant, the finger light scorched everything, penetrating Qin Wentian's body. Qin Wentian's body felt like it was about to be incinerated. At this moment, Yu Changkong and Devilox both took this opportunity to break free from the feeling of impending death. The power of stillness no longer controlled them. Yu Changkong's expression was extremely malevolent and cold. Qin Wentian actually threatened him again, causing him to feel that his life no longer belonged to him. This feeling was too terrifying. No one would be willing to experience it a second time after experiencing it once. The stillness of life felt like it would never awaken again. If it wasn't for the fact that he was strong enough, he most probably would have already become a stillness of life now. Devilox's strength was originally inferior to Yu Changkong. Although he was a supreme genius from the Divine Ox clan, when he was cultivating in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, his cultivation base was still on the weaker side. In the world of reincarnation, he was still lacking. If not, that sneak attack wouldn't have caused him to fall into a trap. Earlier, he could clearly sense how powerful the Time Dao Bone was. It felt like he could also sense the flow of time from it. If he could obtain this Dao Bone, he would have 2 Dao Bones. When he thought of this, he stared at Qin Wentian who was sent flying. His body moved again, moving like a bolt of lightning towards Qin Wentian. His gaze was incomparably resolute. He had to obtain the Dao Bone no matter what. However, at this moment, a formless sound wave suddenly appeared. After that, an incomparably intense killing intent gushed over, vile creature, Tiandao Sacred Academy actually produced scum like you. You have truly brought shame to the name of the Sacred Academy. An old man walked over. This old man was none other than the Divine Sound World Overlord of the Tiandao Sacred Academy. When he saw Devilox rushing towards Qin Wentian, a surge of might from the great Tao enveloped everything. After that, a crisp clanging sound rang out. Devilox roared in rage as his battle intent surged. Behind him, an incomparably gigantic divine ox body appeared. It was like it knew that there was a formless energy attacking it. Terrifying sizzling sounds rang out as fresh blood gushed out. A gash appeared on Devilox's arm as the formless sound waves continued to ravage his body. He roared loudly. He couldn't be bothered to deal with Qin Wentian anymore. The divine ox body transformed into a primordial devil ox with a pair of malevolent horns, standing tall in the sky. Boundless battle intent transformed into treasured light that revolved around him, defending against Divine Sound's Dao attacks. Divine Sound managed to block Devilox, but Yu Changkong and the experts of the Qin clan still wouldn't spare the injured Qin Wentian. Earlier, Qin Wentian's all-out attack almost took Yu Changkong's life. However, he also suffered an intense backlash. In addition to Devilox's sneak attack, as well as the attacks from the experts of the Qin clan, right now, his aura was growing weaker and weaker. If Yu Changkong and the experts of the Qin clan continued to attack, it would be hard for him to survive. But just when Yu Changkong and the experts of the Qin clan were about to continue their pursuit of Qin Wentian, a phantom-like figure soared through the air. This figure flashed and brought Qin Wentian away, retreating far away. This caused the gazes of everyone to freeze as they stared at the sudden appearance of this phantom. When they saw clearly who this phantom belonged to, many people had expressions of interest on their faces. This phantom was extremely outstanding and was incomparably beautiful. A single glance from her would cause people to be mesmerized, unable to bear to act against her. She was none other than the #1 beauty of the heaven region, Goddess Nikhang. Goddess Nikhang the mystical maiden appeared here at the same time, creating a breathtaking scene. These two beauties were extremely pleasing to the eyes, but at this moment, no one was in the mood to admire their beauty. Most of them were bewildered. Goddess Nikhang actually saved Qin Wentian. What situation was this? From what they knew, Goddess Nikhang should be a couple with the heaven son of the Qin clan, Qin Dangtian. And if Qin Wentian was Qin Yuanfeng's son, in that case, he would be heaven's son Qin Dangtian's destined enemy. Back then, the battle between Qin Dangtian's father, Qin Zheng, and Qin Yuanfeng could be said to have spread through the supreme ancient immortal realms. Not only for the experts here, even Qin Wentian himself was taken aback. Goddess Nikhang actually acted to help him. This caused him to feel strange. However, that beautiful figure merely calmly stared ahead, not intending to explain anything. Her gaze was extremely cold when she stared at the experts from the Qin clan. The 3 experts from the Qin clan actually wanted to obtain her in the world of reincarnation. The battle here was extremely intense and unexpected things kept appearing. The Qinqing realm lord, Qin Wentian, was actually also an expert from the Qin clan. He was Qin Yuanfeng's son back then. After that, Goddess Nikhang appeared and actually wanted to save Qin Wentian from the hands of the Qin clan. This story could be said to have many twists and turns. But at this moment, the Reverend from the Pure Land of Bliss pressed his palms together and glanced into the distance. Everyone in the world thinks that they are intelligent and can scheme against others. But they don't know that there are still people plotting against them in the dark. As the sound of his voice faded, the experts here seemed to have sensed something as they turned their gazes over. After that, their eyes involuntarily narrowed as sharpness gleamed in their eyes. Their battle here caused the shockwaves to spread far and wide. Many experts in the ancient city all retreated far away and some even died directly. But even so, many people in the ancient city were still silently watching this battle from afar. But now, to their shock, they discovered that those people had all vanished. In the horizon, there was actually a blood mist drifting over here. The blood seemed to have been dyed black. The sinister-looking blood mist permeated the air and swiftly drifted over, enveloping the entire ancient city. The blood mist mixed with the air and seeped into the bodies of the people here. The calamity of the world of reincarnation. The Reverend sighed. In this ancient city, the people here were all plunged into misery and suffering. Most probably, many people didn't even know how they died. That terrifying blood mist gradually condensed, transforming into a gigantic net of destruction that enveloped the heavens and earth. Waves of destructive might unceasingly seeped into the bodies of everyone here. Someone frowned and coldly spoke, "Poison Qi." The eyes of Qinkuan Sect's Lin Xiao flashed with coldness. His gaze penetrated through space, appearing far away as he spoke. I was wondering why that existence from the God Extermination Palace didn't appear at all. So it turns out that he has been hiding in the shadows all this while, using the lives in the ancient city to refine the poison Qi. Does that fellow want to capture everyone in one fell swoop? Many people thought of that existence from the God Extermination Palace. All of them had a look of wariness in their eyes. Their bodies flashed with resplendent light as they protected themselves, not allowing the blood mist to corrode their bodies. However, since the other party was prepared, it would not be easy to block the attack. As long as World Overlord Lifeless was here, he would definitely fight for Luo Shenlei. In that case, the ending was already destined. As for me, my battle with him is something that would happen sooner or later. It has nothing to do with you, you don't have to feel guilty. Qin Wentian felt some pain in his heart when he saw Luo Shenlei's appearance. An extremely beautiful woman, a heaven chosen of the Luotian clan, was actually forced to cultivate an evil art. This world of reincarnation was simply too cruel. It was cruel to everyone. Chapter 1842. Although Qin Wentian consoled her like this, Luo Shenlei's eyes were still red and tears could be seen. The blood poison continued to corrode her body. She who was already heavily injured gradually felt a sense of helplessness. At this moment, a gigantic divine cauldron appeared in the air, radiating boundless multicolored light. The multicolored light pierced into everyone's bodies, frenziedly absorbing all energy. In fact, everyone felt that their bodies were about to be sucked into it. What is that? The gazes of many experts froze. Lin Zhao's expression was cold to the extreme. Before the first wave subsided, another wave arose. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. In addition, there wasn't just one oriole. Che Ying. Lin Xiao turned his gaze to Che Ying. He only saw Che-Ying smiling as he stepped out. The multicolored light in his hand shone brilliantly with the divine cauldron. Since everyone is gathered here for a grand battle, I naturally have to join in the liveliness. Che-Ying calmly spoke. The blood-colored poison was being sucked into his divine cauldron, being refined within. What do you want to refine? Lin Xiao coldly asked. When I refine divine weapons, I would always refine whatever I have. Everyone here is filled with boundless Daos. If I can refine all of your Daos together, I wonder what kind of power I would be able to create. Che-Ying spoke. If we use our bodies to refine, I'm sure the effect would be even better. Lin Xiao spoke. Che-Ying merely smiled and didn't reply, like he was silently agreeing. The Che clan was the #1 weaponsmithing aristocrat clan in the supreme ancient immortal realms. Their weaponsmithing techniques were heaven-defying, able to use blood as weapons and humans as weapons. The people here were all supreme geniuses. If they could use these people to refine weapons, what kind of divine weapons would they be able to create? However, there were no weaklings here. If they wanted to use humans as weapons, it definitely wasn't a simple matter. Qin Wentian and Luo Shenlei didn't seem to see the situation over there. They were originally already injured and now, they were corroded by the poison. The Luoshan clan was already on the verge of collapsing. Yu Changkong and the experts from the Qin clan were still glaring at them like tigers watching their prey. Luckily, there was divine sound and goddess Nikhang beside them. In addition to the poison here, they didn't dare to act recklessly. The current situation could be said to be extremely delicate, and a slight move could affect the situation as a whole. No one dared to guarantee that they would be able to escape unscathed. In the previous gathering, only lifeless died. But this time around, all the experts gathered in the ancient city, causing a storm of blood to rain and wind. They came to the world of reincarnation and have endured for many years. Finally, they all lost their patience and the battle today erupted. The various experts no longer hid themselves and walked out to fight. Brother, I'm afraid I can't hold on any longer. I'll die here. Luo Shenlei suddenly smiled at Qin Wentian. Black qi appeared on her face as the blood poison invaded her body, devouring her vitality. Staring at the black qi radiating from Luo Shenlei's beautiful face, Qin Wentian only felt an intense pain in his heart. He stretched out his hand and grabbed Luo Shenlei's hand. Hold on. Let's rush out. Luo Shenlei shook her head. I won't be able to escape. Yu Changkong and the people from the Qin clan were still here. The experts from the Divine Ox clan were also glaring at them like tigers eyeing their prey. How could they leave? Not only was she heavily injured, Qin Wentian himself was injured as well. I'm going to look for Grandpa lifeless. Luo Shenlei spoke. Brother, I've implicated you. As she spoke, her tears flowed again. It was one thing if she died. But given the situation today, Qin Wentian was most probably in danger as well. It was all her fault that he had a slim chance of survival. Silly lass, there's no need to say any more. Qin Wentian felt an intense pain in his heart. An intense hatred and killing intent appeared in his heart. Why would there be evil arts in the world of reincarnation? If there wasn't such an existence, how could a despicable person like Yu Changkong have the chance to succeed? Luo Shenlei felt resentment in her heart. She stared at Qin Wentian. Elder brother, if I want you to cultivate evil arts, would you be willing? Staring at Luo Shenlei who was growing weaker and weaker, Qin Wentian felt as though a knife was being twisted in his heart. He turned his gaze to Yu Changkong, staring at the poison qi in the air as he coldly spoke. If I knew today would come, even if I had to transform into an evil devil and be consigned to eternal damnation, I wouldn't hesitate. If he could reincarnate once more, he wouldn't hesitate to cultivate the evil arts and rapidly grow stronger. Elder brother, Layer has let you down. You have to leave this place alive and help me take care of father. Tears flowed from Luo Shenlei's beautiful eyes, but a radiant smile appeared on her face. The blood mist around her churned wildly, growing denser and denser, enveloping her completely. It felt like the blood mist wanted to devour her. Lei, what are you doing? Stop! Qin Wentian angrily berated, wanting to stop Luo Shenlei, but how could he do so? Luo Shenlei was in the blood mist. Her beautiful face gradually turned blurry, but her smile was still as radiant as ever. If there's really samsara in this world, in my next life, I hope that I can still be your younger sister. It won't be as short as this life. Luo Shenlei's voice drifted into Qin Wentian's ears. After that, the blood mist towered up into the sky, spreading out in all directions. Using my blood as a guide, using my body as a sacrifice. I'm willing to ignite my blood and burn my body. Forbidden art, blood sacrifice. Luo Shenlei's voice was solemn, echoing through the air. Her blurry body transformed into a gigantic shadow, resembling a blood-evil devil. Using her body as a sacrifice, her blood transformed into blood that frenziedly flowed into Qin Wentian's body. The evil arts in the world of reincarnation were extremely terrifying. The evil art Luo Shenlei cultivated could use her body as a sacrifice, activating a blood sacrifice forbidden art, transferring all the energy she cultivated to others. However, those who cultivated the evil arts were all extremely selfish. How would they be willing to sacrifice themselves for others? Even if they would rather die, they wouldn't allow others to benefit. However, Luo Shenlei was different from others. Back then, she was forced to cultivate the evil art because she had no other choice. Now, on the verge of death, she asked Qin Wentian if he was willing to cultivate the evil art. Qin Wentian replied that if he knew the situation today, he would have long since started cultivating the evil art. He wasn't willing to see Luo Shenlei in such a state. Although her fate was already determined, she still hoped that the evil art could allow Qin Wentian to live on. As long as he could live on, so what even if he cultivated the evil art? Surviving was the most important. Lei. Qin Wentian roared, his voice shaking the heavens and earth. Luo Shenlei actually used her own body as a sacrifice. Why did this happen? If he knew this would happen, he would rather be consigned to eternal damnation than to have such an ending. Elder brother, although I cultivate the evil art of blood, I have never used the lives of humans to refine my evil arts. Luo Shenlei's final words rang out in Qin Wentian's ears. Qin Wentian finally understood why he would see such a terrifying scene in the demonic beast mountain range. Luo Shenlei controlled herself, she would rather use demons to refine her evil arts than kill people. A look of extreme pain appeared on Qin Wentian's face. Boundless blood light frenziedly flowed into his body. His blood and qi churned wildly, growing stronger and stronger. The injuries he suffered also rapidly recovered and the blood in his body felt like it was about to boil. Samsara. Are you satisfied now? Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the sky. Was this the legendary place, the world of Samsara? He was so cruel to everyone, exposing everyone's true nature to the fullest. The evil cultivated evil arts, becoming more and more evil. The greedy were greedy, the lustful were greedy. They unleashed their true nature without any scruples. All of them revealed their true selves in the world of reincarnation. When there was no power to restrain them, this was their true nature. Divine Sound and Goddess Nikhang who were beside Qin Wentian both had a change in their expressions. Divine Sound sighed silently, he also didn't expect that Qin Wentian was actually the elder brother of Luo Shenlei. The daughter of the heavenly mandate realm used her body as a sacrifice, transferring her evil arts and her strength to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's eyes flickered with a blood-red light. Madness could be seen in his eyes, as well as an evil light. He greedily absorbed the blood qi in the air. That blood qi was transformed from Lei. It was as though he was possessed, controlling his heart that was in extreme pain to absorb this energy. Right now, he only wanted strength. After he obtained strength, he would kill those people and take revenge. The expressions of Yu Changkong and the experts from the Qin clan were extremely cold. They stared at Qin Wentian only to see Qin Wentian stepping out, wanting to act. Qin Wentian opened his mouth and drew in a breath. The blood qi in the air frenziedly gushed in, instantly devouring him. In an instant, he could sense that this energy originated from an evil art. He finally understood why Yu Changkong could be so powerful. The evil arts of this world of samsara basically defied the logic of the cultivation world. Cultivation needed to be comprehended step by step. However, the evil arts of the world of samsara could be comprehended in a single step, ignoring all rules. They were tyrannical, powerful, and evil. Right now, Qin Wentian even desired to use the blood of others to refine the evil art. Evil arts could affect one's state of mind. He finally understood how difficult it was for Lei to not use humans to refine her evil art. Yu Changkong was unscrupulous. The experts from the Qin clan even dared to touch goddess Nikhang and the Nine Heavens mystical maiden. Unless they were greedy by nature, they must have been influenced by the evil art, completely unleashing their greed. They couldn't control their greed and forgot everything else. Boom! A towering blood light flashed. Qin Wentian directly rushed out like a bolt of lightning, killing his way towards the experts from the Qin clan who were preparing to act against him. The three experts from the Qin clan had cold looks in their eyes. Right now, the feeling Qin Wentian gave them was much more terrifying compared to Luo Shenlei. He was originally extremely strong, and now that he obtained the evil art Luo Shenlei cultivated, he was naturally even more terrifying. In addition, they still needed to be on guard against the blood poison created by the experts from the God Extermination Palace. An expert from the Qin clan directly blasted out an extremely powerful fist light, penetrating through the heavens and earth, destroying the void. Qin Wentian didn't dodge and directly rushed up. With a thunderous boom, his fist directly penetrated through Qin Wentian's body. At this moment, Qin Wentian transformed into a blood-soul body, allowing his opponent's fist to penetrate his chest. His eyes gleamed with a bloodthirsty light. Boom! A terrifying mist of blood directly engulfed this expert from the Qin clan. At the same time, the power to freeze time and life erupted forth. He ignored his opponent's attack, disregarding injuries and wanting to kill his opponent. He was like a crazed devil, willing to pay any price to kill his opponent. Chapter 1843. Madness. Everyone silently mused when they saw Qin Wentian's frenzied attacks. At this moment, Qin Wentian's entire body was shrouded in boundless blood-colored light. He wanted to fight to the death against that expert from the Qin clan, disregarding his opponent's attacks. That expert from the Qin clan had a look of despair on his face. Under the power of the sealing of time and life, the blood in his body churned frenziedly like it was about to explode. Violent rumbling sounds rang out, the sound of his blood exploding was like a tsunami. That expert from the Qin clan screamed in agony as he transformed into a man of blood. He had a powerful cultivation base, but before he could even unleash it, he suffered a fatal blow. No! He screamed in his heart. He was unwilling, but it was useless. In just an extremely short instant, his body was engulfed by the blood-colored light as he transformed into a blood man. The other two experts from the Qin clan rushed over, but the flow of time around them seemed to have been changed, causing their speed to slow down. They could only watch helplessly as their comrade was refined into a blood man. Is this the true power of Luo Shenlei's evil art? It's just that she didn't use humans to cultivate it, as it would be too tyrannical and cruel. Instead, she used demons to summon many blood demons. However, Qin Wentian went berserk because of Luo Shenlei's death. He directly used that expert from the Qin clan to refine his blood body. Everyone saw that expert from the Qin clan walking to the side of Qin Wentian after he transformed into a blood man. How could they not understand the power of that evil art? Yu Changkong stared at this scene as his expression grew extremely unsightly. He cultivated the evil art which allowed him to become so powerful in the world of reincarnation. But now, Qin Wentian, who was once stronger than him, had also cultivated the evil art. In that case, he no longer had an advantage. Also, the current Qin Wentian had already entered a frenzied state. When he fought, he didn't care about his own life and death, only wanting to kill. The him now was even more terrifying, causing Yu Changkong to feel some trepidation. If he acted now to deal with Qin Wentian, there were still experts from the God Extermination Palace and the Che clan eyeing him like tigers eyeing their prey. All the effort he put in would only end up benefiting others. Upon thinking of this, Yu Changkong decided to retreat. Since he had already made his decision, he no longer hesitated. His silhouette flashed as he prepared to leave this place. However, how could Lin Xiao allow Yu Changkong to leave so easily? His silhouette flashed as the space around him trembled. He stretched his hand out in the air as an incomparably terrifying universe energy enveloped this space, transforming into a fearsome vortex that caused Yu Changkong to falter. Do you think you can walk out of here alive today? Lin Xiao's silhouette shot out with lightning speed, blocking Yu Changkong's path. The Qinkuan formation diagram revolved around him. Upon sensing the frenzied poison qi as well as the devouring energy from the divine cauldron in the air, the formation diagram behind Lin Xiao grew even more resplendent. Qinkuan light enveloped this entire space as he roared in rage, "Qinkuan, reverse." As the sound of his voice faded, the energy in this entire space seemed to be reversing. The boundless poison qi flowed back to the origin of the divine cauldron. The boundless light radiating from the divine cauldron was no longer as resplendent as before. The heavens and earth trembled as the flow of Qinkuan reversed. The experts here all felt their hearts trembling when they saw the power Lin Xiao used. Was this the true might of Lin Xiao's Tao? He was already so powerful, comprehending the Qinkuan reversal of the Qinkuan Tao. Everyone had heard of this art before. If one cultivated it to the extreme, they would be able to reverse the heavens, invert yin and yang, reverse life and death. But clearly, the current Lin Xiao had yet to reach that level. At the extreme, even heavenly deities wouldn't dare to say they could reach that level. But even so, being able to unleash such shocking might here caused many people to be shocked by Lin Xiao's strength. The next sect leader of the Qinkuan sect was truly extraordinary. Qin Wentian didn't pay attention to the battle between Lin Xiao and Yu Changkong. He directly rushed towards the other two experts from the Qin clan. Yu Changkong and the Qin clan were the main culprits behind Lei Er's death. All of them deserved to die. The blood figure that was refined by Qin Wentian was the first to descend, rushing towards the experts from the Qin clan. The expressions of the two experts from the Qin clan changed. They didn't expect this evil art to be so tyrannical. One of them radiated an incomparably resplendent white light that transformed into a fist that could purify everything, blasting into the blood figure. The blood figure turned illusory, about to be incinerated into nothingness by the white light. The evil art cultivated by these experts from the Qin clan was different from Yu Changkong and Qin Wentian. They borrowed the bodies of females to cultivate, unceasingly raising their strength. The current them was filled with boundless qi and blood, and each of their attacks contained boundless might. The people of the Qin clan were known to be proficient in the myriad of arts and could comprehend all sorts of daos and innate techniques. Their combat prowess was extremely strong, and the two of them complemented each other. The current them was even more terrifying. The blood body of the Qin clan's expert directly exploded, transforming into a bloody mist that permeated the body of the attacking Qin clan's expert. At this moment, he felt that the circulation of his bloodline wasn't smooth. It was the same as before, fighting with his life on the line. In the eyes of Qin Wentian, who had transformed into an evil devil, it was like he had forgotten pain and death. He didn't even fear death. Who would be able to win against him? The bloodline of that expert from the Qin clan erupted ferociously. He roared in rage as a white light flashed. He condensed Dao arts, thousands of techniques, tens of thousands of innate techniques, all of them were unleashed at this moment, radiating a world-shaking light that could destroy everything, slaying gods and devils. Qin Wenqian's body descended. The Dao bone in his body erupted forth, sealing time and life. His blood qi corroded and plundered everything. He ignored the attacks that landed on him, he only wanted his opponent to die. However, at the instant his blood might corroded his opponent's body, this battle had already ended. No matter how heavily injured he was, his opponent was destined to die. There would be no second ending. Qin Wenqian's body seemed to have suffered a myriad of attacks. His body was riddled with holes and he was truly covered in blood. However, he had no fear and didn't know pain. This caused the divine sound world overlord who saw this scene to sigh silently. At this moment, no one could stop his anger for revenge. Even if his opponent was a god or devil, as long as they obstructed him, he would kill them all. Everyone here knew that right now, Qin Wenqian's injuries were already very heavy. He was going all out for revenge, burning his own life force. However, no one acted against him. Some people were still watching from the sidelines. It would be for the best if all these people who were fighting would give it their all and perish together, dying together. Qin Wenqian's injuries were indeed very heavy. However, he didn't care about it. He inclined his head and stared at Yu Changkong who was fighting against Lin Xiao. His eyes flashed with killing intent. He ignored the two of them and directly rushed out, rushing towards Yu Changkong. Yu Changkong, who was fighting against Lin Xiao, saw Qin Wenqian rushing over. His silhouette flashed, wanting to leave the battlefield. Lin Xiao was originally already terrifying and now that Qin Wenqian had obtained the evil art, he was even more terrifying compared to before. Qin Wenqian killed 3 powerful experts from the Qin clan. In such a situation, he naturally didn't want to fight. That would simply be courting death. Qin Wenqian's eyes were cold. A sealing light flashed in the air, severing the space. Lin Xiao also grabbed out as a Qiankuan grand palm imprint directly shot towards Yu Changkong. Today, he wanted Yu Changkong's life. How could he allow Yu Changkong to escape? Yu Changkong's eyes flashed with an extremely cold and evil light. His body suddenly turned upside down as an incomparably terrifying head appeared, wanting to devour the heavens as it directly lunged towards Qin Wenqian who was rushing over. Qiankuan reversal. Lin Xiao coldly spoke. His Qiankuan Dao art circulated in reverse, causing the devouring energy to actually devour Yu Changkong. His expression drastically changed. At this moment, Qin Wenqian had already rushed over. He closed in on Yu Changkong, going all out. His palms were even sharper than swords, directly penetrating through Yu Changkong's body. Die! Yu Changkong seemed to have been waiting for this moment. His devouring energy completely erupted forth as both his palms similarly pierced into Qin Wenqian's body. His eyes also blazed with the flames of hatred. Chapter 1844. Qin Wenqian and Qin Wenqian fought with their lives on the line, causing the hearts of the spectators to tremble. Right now, not only did Qin Wenqian go crazy, Qin Wenqian also went all out. He knew that he wouldn't be able to deal with both Qin Wenqian and Lin Xiao's attacks. He could only go all out. Terrifying devouring energy frenziedly absorbed everything from Qin Wenqian's body. However, at the same instant, a power that could seal everything, a power that could stop life from entering Qin Wenqian's body, as well as a terrifying evil blood art. At this moment, this entire space was filled with devilish qi. Terrifying heads appeared, towering black fog filled the sky, and blood light filled the air. It felt like anyone who got close to them would die. It was like a battle between devils and devils. Qin Wentian's body would occasionally wither as though everything in his body was about to be devoured. Yu Changkong's body turned into a man of blood as he was slowly engulfed by the blood light. When Lin Xiao saw this scene, he didn't step forward. He frowned. How intense was the hatred between these two? Qin Wentian's desire to kill Yu Changkong was clearly even deeper compared to him. Boom! An even stronger wave of blood light engulfed everything. Yu Changkong screamed in agony as he transformed into a mist of blood. That terrifying head that blotted out the sun also exploded at this moment. Qin Wentian's body was heavily injured and his entire person was now a man of blood. At this moment, the poison fog drifted over, frenziedly seeping into Qin Wentian's body. Clearly, that expert from the God Extermination Palace had acted. If he could kill Qin Wentian in one fell swoop, why not? Devilox also wanted to act. This was another extremely rare opportunity, but the Divine Sound World Overlord had been staring at him. At the instant he wanted to act, the Divine Sound World Overlord already blocked him. Upon seeing the blood poison attacking Qin Wentian, the Divine Sound World Overlord folded hand seals. A formless sound wave enveloped Qin Wentian's body, causing the blood poison's energy to be unable to continue invading his body. Why bother? Divine Sound could only sigh in his heart when he saw Qin Wentian's miserable state. Luo Shenlei used her life as a sacrifice to impart her evil arts to Qin Wentian. This heaven-chosen fell and became a devil, killing 3 experts from the Qin clan and Yu Changkong. However, he also sacrificed everything he had and suffered a calamity. Can you take him away? The Divine Sound World Overlord stared at Goddess Nikhang as he spoke. Before this, Goddess Nikhang had also acted to help Qin Wentian. Although he didn't know the reason, other than him, the only person who could save Qin Wentian was her. Goddess Nikhang nodded lightly. Her silhouette flashed as a formless energy enveloped Qin Wentian and brought him over. After that, she brought Qin Wentian away, preparing to leave this dangerous battlefield. Upon seeing this scene, many people were puzzled. Goddess Nikhang helped Qin Wentian because the people of the Qin clan wanted to deal with her. Hence, did she feel pity for Qin Wentian, the enemy of the Qin clan? No one knew the answer to this point. Someone wanted to stop Goddess Nikhang, but the Divine Sound World Overlord stood before him. He coldly spoke, "Before the disciples of my Tiandao Sacred Academy entered the legendary place, we didn't learn any secrets. It's just that the heavenly deity once warned us to guard our hearts. However, among everyone here, there are some whose hearts were bewitched by an evil devil. Now, are you all still not going to give up?" Lin Xiao stared at the experts here as he calmly spoke, "The legendary place, the world of reincarnation, truly allows one to see one's true self. Only by becoming a unique existence would one be able to gain the recognition of the world of reincarnation. This is merely your wishful thinking. I came to the legendary place merely to broaden my horizons. Even if there's no good fortune here, it wouldn't affect my martial Dao. Let's end things here today. The people of the Qin clan and Yu Changkong have all died. The matter of them dealing with the mystical maiden could be considered settled. Next, he still had to deal with another person. Gue Chen from the Prison God clan, he had also participated in this. Goddess Nikhang brought Qin Wentian away. During this period of time, they were still being pursued by the blood poison. Divine Sound seemed to have sensed something. His silhouette flashed as he sped towards a certain direction in the ancient city, searching for the source of the blood poison. God Extermination Palace, Cold Baleful Qi. The status of the Divine Sound World Overlord in the Tiandao Sacred Academy was extraordinary. He was ranked at the top of the Heavenly Dao rankings of the Mystic region and might even be one of the strongest. Back in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, he could already easily teach Devilox a lesson. Although his talent might not be that high, his cultivation base was extremely high and his strength was definitely extraordinary. After finding the cold baleful Qi, a battle erupted between the two of them. But in the end, the divine sound world overlord was actually corroded by the poisonous qi and had to retreat. However, Goddess Nikhang and Qin Wentian also managed to escape unscathed. Everything here seemed to have nothing to do with Qin Wentian. Several months later, in a quiet and uninhabited place in the world of reincarnation, there were a few small houses here. Behind them, there were green mountains and ancient peaks. In front of them, there were lush greenery, everything was quiet and peaceful. However, in this peaceful place, there was an extremely powerful evil qi. Blood qi filled the air, and it was extremely terrifying. However, in this strange environment, there was a peerless beauty outside the house. She was like the most beautiful scenery in the world, and no matter how beautiful the environment was, it couldn't compare to her beauty. At this moment, a terrifying blood-colored light suddenly erupted. The beautiful eyes of the beautiful woman flashed as she turned her head and stared at the small house. After that, she only saw a figure walking out. This figure was handsome yet radiated a demonic blood-colored light. The blood-colored light radiating from him was fluctuating unstably. The person who walked out was naturally Qin Wentian. As for the woman, she was none other than the number one beauty of the heaven region, Goddess Nikhang. Qin Wentian stared at the beautiful woman before him. His eyes gleamed with an evil light, exuding an intense sense of invasion, causing Goddess Nikhang to frown. Cold intent radiated from her as she stared at Qin Wentian. I cultivated this evil art because Layer directly imparted it to me. My foundation isn't stable, and after the battle in the past, my vitality was greatly injured. Right now, it's even harder for me to control this evil art. Even if I'm facing you, I would still have evil thoughts in my heart. You should leave. Qin Wentian spoke to Goddess Nikhang. He didn't hide his thoughts at all. The evil art itself had the power to corrode one's heart. Just like what he said, the process of him cultivating this evil art was a one-step process. Hence, it was even harder for him to control himself. Goddess Nikhang glanced at Qin Wentian. After that, she turned her head back and stared at the scenery in the distance. Qin Wentian also turned his gaze over. The scenery was extremely beautiful. With such a beautiful woman beside him, even if he didn't cultivate the evil art, it was inevitable for him to have evil thoughts in his heart. You've already brought me to many places, right? I can faintly sense that I've caused the deaths of many people. Qin Wentian spoke in a light voice. After the battle in the past, although his will was a little blurry, he could still faintly sense that he was brought to a small town by Goddess Nikhang. After that, the people in that small town all died because of him, transforming into a bloody hell. Those scenes were like a nightmare, tormenting his heart. Why did you help me? Qin Wentian suddenly asked. He didn't understand. Could it be because he had acted against the people of the Qin clan and the people of the Qin clan had acted against her? If it was just because of this, even if she brought him away, there was no need for her to stay here. Goddess Nikhang didn't reply to Qin Wentian. Her beautiful eyes stared at him as she spoke in a light voice. Since you know the reason, you should calm your heart and cultivate, stabilizing your state of heart and severing your heart demons. Since you can control yourself today, you should be able to do the same in the future. I will do my best. However, there's no need for you to stay here. Qin Wentian saw that Goddess Nikhang didn't want to answer why she helped him. He didn't ask anymore. He only hoped that she would leave. If she stayed here, the evil thoughts in his heart would only be aroused. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself and would refine her into a blood body. The environment here is very quiet, there's no one here. In the east, there's a mountain range with demonic beasts. If you really can't control yourself, you can go there. Goddess Nikhang spoke in a light voice. After that, she stood up and her silhouette flashed, vanishing from this place. After she left, Qin Wentian heaved a sigh of relief. His eyes flashed with a bloodthirsty light as the blood qi in his body gushed forth. It was like he could no longer control himself as he let out a low howl of pain. His heart was being corroded by the evil thoughts. It was much more serious compared to Laer. Earlier, he did his best to control himself and persuaded Goddess Nikhang to leave because he was worried that he would harm her. From afar, Goddess Nikhang stood on an ancient mountain peak and stared at the blood-colored light that permeated the area. Her beautiful eyes were calm but her heart trembled slightly. So it turned out that he already found it hard to control himself. Seems like the influence of the evil arts on him was very great. She didn't leave but chose to stay on this ancient mountain peak instead. In the blink of an eye, several months passed. The winds and clouds in the outside world changed but Qin Wentian was still isolated from the world. Today, the mountain range to the east of the little house was enveloped by a blood mist. All the demonic beasts were killed and fresh blood dyed the mountain peaks red. Even the setting sun seemed to have turned the color of blood, a ghastly sight to behold. The people of the Qin clan cultivated the evil arts and they had to cultivate step by step from the start to the end. Even so, they still found it hard to control their greed. Even Goddess Nikhang and the mystical maiden wanted to touch them. From this, one could very well imagine how tyrannical the evil arts were. Qin Wentian succeeded in a single step. He directly received Laer's inheritance and after he obtained the evil arts, he directly experienced a bloody battle, completely unleashing the tyrannical nature of the evil arts. Today, in the world of reincarnation, the entire world was enveloped by dark clouds. In the air, thunder and lightning flashed. After that, a torrential rain descended. The terrifying might of thunder and lightning was like a doomsday lightning tribulation, unceasingly raining down. Numerous bolts of lightning arced through the sky, descending onto the earth. Under the quiet ancient mountain peak, among the lush ancient trees, outside the little house, the torrential rain and thunder could be heard. There was also a terrifying blood-colored light that shot up into the sky. A roar rang out as Qin Wentian rushed out, transforming into a blood-colored bolt of lightning, wanting to leave. But at this moment, in the midst of the torrential rain, a beautiful figure stood there, bathing in the lightning and thunder. Her robes were wet from the torrential rain, outlining her perfect figure. Her long hair was also wet, exuding a transcendent aura. She stared at Qin Wentian. "Where are you going?" "Scram!" Qin Wentian roared at her. "Are you worthy of Luo Shenlei?" Goddess Nikhang spoke. Rumble. The terrifying blood-colored light seemed to want to engulf everything. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with a terrifying evil light. His body moved like lightning, appearing before Goddess Nikhang. His hands directly grabbed her arms as his eyes gleamed with a terrifying blood-colored light. His blood might seem to want to engulf that beautiful figure. "I told you to leave, why did you return?" Qin Wentian roared. "Because I believe that Qin Yuanfeng's son wouldn't be so useless." Goddess Nichang's beautiful eyes were cold as she stared at Qin Wentian. Her voice was like divine thunder in the sky, rumbling within Qin Wentian's mind. Chapter 1845. Qin Wentian's heart trembled violently. His blood-colored eyes flashed with a hint of sobriety. His body was struggling in pain but the torrential rain and lightning continued to cascade down, landing on the two of them. Under the illumination of the lightning, Goddess Nichang's beautiful countenance was so beautiful that it caused the hearts of those who looked at her to tremble. Her clothes that were drenched by the torrential rain clung tightly to her body, outlining her perfect curves. But at this moment, Qin Wentian didn't know how to show tenderness to the fairer sex. His hands grabbed Goddess Nichang's arms as fresh blood seeped out. Upon sensing the scent of blood, the blood-red light in Qin Wentian's eyes grew even more intense. But when he stared at Nichang's clear and beautiful eyes, he hesitated and felt incomparable pain. "No!" With a low roar, Qin Wentian's hands tore apart Goddess Nichang's sleeves, revealing her fair jade-like skin. She was so alluring and if ordinary men were to see the current Goddess Nikhang, they would surely fall into a frenzy, unable to extricate themselves. However, Qin Wentian roared in rage and soared up into the air, rushing towards the boundless lightning bolts. Go! Qin Wentian roared. Goddess Nikhang inclined her head and stared at him. She didn't expect the evil art of the world of reincarnation to have such a corrosive effect on one's will. If Qin Wentian's heart turned to the devil, he would be like Yu Changkong, becoming a true devil that devoured others. If that was the case, he wouldn't feel any pain and the evil art would be suppressed. She inclined her head, but she didn't leave. She also didn't care about her exposed snow-white skin. She only stared at the figure in the air. Qin Wentian soared up into the boundless space, into the terrifying storm of lightning. It was like he wanted to search for the source of the lightning. What are you doing? Goddess Nichang's beautiful eyes flashed when she saw Qin Wentian's actions. After that, she soared up into the air only to see Qin Wentian's figure rising higher and higher, flying towards the center of the storm of lightning. The lightning was like a world-ending lightning tribulation, the terrifying vortex devoured everything. Qin Wentian appeared extremely tiny in the center of the vortex. His eyes still flickered with a blood-red light, yet there was a hint of clarity in them. That hint of clarity suppressed the evil energy within. Staring at the boundless lightning, he waved his hands and instantly, the boundless might of the lightning tribulation was drawn into his body. At this instant, the boundless lightning congregated with him at the center. His body seemed to be penetrated by a myriad of lightning tribulations as his entire body flickered with the light of lightning. If the cycle of reincarnation is destined to be filled with pain, I'd rather not have this cultivation base. Qin Wentian inclined his head, his eyes gleaming with determination. Even more powerful lightning bolts frenziedly penetrated his body. He guided the lightning into his body but he gave up all resistance, allowing the destructive might to wreak havoc in his body, destroying everything. His body trembled as the blood-red light around him grew weaker and weaker. His life force also grew weaker and weaker. Goddess Nikhang stared at the scene of destruction in the air. Her beautiful eyes froze as she stared at everything in a dumbfounded manner. Was he going to destroy his own cultivation base? As the blood-red light grew weaker, although Qin Wentian was weakened, his eyes grew clearer and clearer. The determination in his eyes grew stronger and stronger. Layer, your elder brother still has no way to continue on this path. If this world of reincarnation truly has a cycle of reincarnation, I'm willing to enter it and suffer 1,000 tribulations and all kinds of pain. I only hope that you are still alive. Qin Wentian stared at the boundless lightning as he spoke. He pointed to the terrifying lightning tribulation vortex as he spoke in anger, the cycle of reincarnation is heartless. It's regretful that my strength is too weak. If not, I would definitely break the cycle of reincarnation. His voice seemed to have angered the lightning tribulation in the air. At this moment, the boundless lightning might gathered together, becoming even more violent, causing the heavens and earth to collapse. A stifling pressure bore down on everyone. Goddess Nichang's countenance drastically changed. How could he be so powerful? Was the world of reincarnation really so heartless? Boom! A world-destroying bolt of lightning that pierced through the 9 heavens blasted down, penetrating through Qin Wentian's body from the top of his head. Qin Wentian's finger was still pointing up at the sky but it slowly slumped down weakly. The blood-red light around him completely dissipated and his body also fell from the sky powerlessly. Lightning crackled on his body as the torrential rain continued to rain down on him. Goddess Nichang's silhouette flashed as she stretched out her hand and caught the falling body. Right now, Qin Wentian's eyes were tightly shut and his body was incomparably weak. Staring at the figure lying between her hands, Goddess Nikhang could only sigh in her heart. Giving up was the greatest courage. He would rather give up his heaven-shaking cultivation base than to harm others. This world of reincarnation was truly cruel. A beautiful figure floated down. Goddess Nikhang carried Qin Wentian's body into the small house and quietly placed him there. She herself quietly sat at the side, hoping that everything would end soon. The world of reincarnation caused too many people to fall for it, causing too many people to experience pain. The small house was incomparably quiet, there was no sound at all. Outside, the torrential rain continued, as though this was the anger of the world of reincarnation. This torrential rain continued for a few days before it finally stopped. During the evening when the storm stopped, Qin Wentian woke up from his coma. His body was exceptionally weak and as expected, all his cultivation base had disappeared. He self-destructed his cultivation base and became immortal. Naturally, he also destroyed the evil art he learned. He didn't need to be bewitched by the evil art anymore. Sitting up, Qin Wentian discovered some spirit herbs and immortal fruits at the side. Qin Wentian took them and placed them in his mouth, chewing on them. A clear flow of energy flowed through his body, feeling extremely comfortable. He recovered his strength and felt more spirited. He then stood up and walked out of the small house. Multicolored light reflected in his eyes. Qin Wentian stared at the verdant ancient trees before him. After that, he inclined his head and stared at the sky. The sky was dyed red and there was a rainbow gate in the air. After the torrential rain, it was actually so beautiful. Qin Wentian continued forward but he didn't see the figure of goddess Nikhang. He turned his head and stared at the ancient mountain behind the little house. Following the ancient mountain, he stared at the peak of the ancient peak only to see a beautiful figure standing there. She was clad in a long white dress that fluttered in the wind. Her jet black hair fluttered in the wind as the glow of the setting sun shone down on her. This scene was like a scene from a celestial realm in the mortal world. Even for Qin Wentian, he was in a daze at this moment as he quietly stared at this extremely rare painting. The beautiful figure on the ancient mountain seemed to have sensed something. Her beautiful eyes turned over and when she saw that Qin Wentian had awakened, goddess Nikhang floated down and flew over. The rainbow light cascaded down on her, making her seem like a true goddess. She landed beside Qin Wentian and didn't say anything. She stretched out her hand and held on to Qin Wentian's arm as the two of them soared up into the air, heading towards the ancient mountain peak. Goddess Nikhang didn't say anything, neither did Qin Wentian. Such a scene, it was like no one was willing to disturb them. When they came to the ancient mountain peak again, goddess Nikhang still didn't say anything. She merely inclined her head and quietly stared at the multicolored light in the sky, staring at the rainbow. It was like she brought Qin Wentian up here because she wanted him to be able to enjoy such a beautiful scene. Qin Wentian also inclined his head and stood shoulder to shoulder with her, staring up at the sky. That beautiful scene was so beautiful that it felt surreal, like a dream. Qin Wentian would occasionally glance at the maiden beside him with pure admiration in his eyes. Maybe, she herself didn't realize it.